XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at volvocarsedmonton.com.
The 8th annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
It's the Brick's Great Canadian Staycation Sale. Score hot summer savings like up to 20% off outdoor furniture and free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $4.99 or more. Save 60% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Plus, save up to 20% off dining and bedroom furniture. Get up to $400 off big screen TVs and buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. The Brick, saving you more.
It's happened again, and construction season is in full swing. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, looking for
Major public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. featuring Tridem, tandem, and single-axle trucks with cab and chassis.
Ricky Pearsall trying to beat his man.
Auctions.com.
I'm here with Mike, a Ford employee, to hook me up with a deal on a new Super Duty.
Oh, with Ford employee pricing on now, you don't really need me. You pay what we pay.
So I just get your price?
Yep. Tell him Mike sent you. Or Maria, or Namig.
Ford employee pricing is here, where you pay what Mike pays.
Or Genevieve, or Elise, or Kevy.
Right now, get up to $12,835 in employee price adjustments on eligible 2025 Super Duty models. For details, visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved equipment auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. featuring articulated dumps, backhoes, dozers, drum and padfoot packers, excavators, graders, manlifts, motor scrapers, skid steers, pavers, turf mowers, wheel loaders, plus commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey.
The Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Purdy looking over it. Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall trying to beat his man in the end zone. And he has touchdown, San Francisco.
A lovely Thursday afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show at Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. A lovely day, lots to discuss on the show. If you're a ball fan, afternoon, Jays and the Cubbies, and it's a pitching duel so far. Only 2 hits. I will say, Mad Max Scherzer, the ageless wonder, started the season slow. Obviously, he was injured, and man, his last 5 starts, this guy's been money, and he is wheeling again today on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays. So we'll give you some updates on that. Terry Ryan will be by. We have Travis Yost is going to join us. We've talked tiers a lot this week, and we will talk NHL Defense Corps tiers and where they rank. Which tier? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who do you like? Who don't you like? So we'll get to that. We're going to continue on in the NFC West division today, talking Niners or Seahawks. We got Mark Spector will be by. Elks secondary coach Aaron Grimes, of course, first year coaching in the CFL. What's he learned? Right, you're coming up on halfway point of the season. It will be game number, 9, Elks tomorrow night. And man, it's a learning curve. Coaching is that you learn so much as you grow and you go. So we'll talk to Aaron about that. Steve Gardner will be by. We'll talk some MLB. The playoff races are heating up. Man, the Milwaukee Brewers are absolutely on fire. God, they're good. And honestly, the Brewers, they would fall in the category of an organization like very few people dislike the Brewers because they really haven't had much success. They've been to the World Series once, lost. Haven't been back. And they're not a team that's gone out. They're a bottom 10 spender this year. And right now, they are the hottest team. They're the best team in baseball since late May. We're coming up on 3 months where they have absolutely shredded everybody. And the second best team in the league right now, the Toronto Blue Jays, them and the Brewers are going to meet up here soon. That should be a hell of a series. So we'll talk about that. We'll do some racing with Livingston. It's Thirsty Thursday. David Owens from Sherbrooke Liquor will be by as some summer choices for you to discuss today on the show. As always, you can get involved. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our email inbox. The Edmonton Elks en route. They are set to take on the Toronto Argonauts tomorrow night. You had the walkthrough today, and Mechie is back in. He will be lining up at safety for the Elks. So Garnes is going to move back to the Sam linebacker position with Morgan and Dublanco, the other 2 linebackers. Changes. Obviously, Grace is out. I think he's probably done for the year, unfortunately, for him as the punter. So Blanchard is going to handle both duties for now. Also, Maluga Clements comes back on the roster, so he should help out on special teams. Plamondon comes back in as well, another fullback for special teams. Grace is out. Cummings and Shaco come off. Shaco's on the 1-game injured list for the Green and Gold, as they will try to win 2 in a row for the first time this season. Meanwhile, the Argos, Dosher, Kemp, and Brown are coming in. Milton Moore and LeBourne are out. Obviously, Nick Arbuckle remains their starting quarterback right now. Toronto's all right. Like, you don't want to take them lightly, but this is a game that I believe the Elks should win. It's a game you need to win if you want to continue with that slim chance of making the playoffs. You got to do it. So we'll talk about that. Also, today, we've discussed this. We discussed it often last year. And so, we touched on it a little bit on Tuesday's show. So I dug into it a little bit more today, wrote an article about it at OilersNation.com. Some funny stats that come up. So over the last 3 seasons, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, as a duo, they are the best playmaking centers in the NHL. It's not even close. They've combined for 458 assists the last 3 seasons. So, that's basically like 150 assists a year between the two of them. Not bad. Connor Halley. The Oilers are first with their top 2 centers at 458 assists combined. I'm not going to ask you the team because that's too hard. What do you think the next highest combined assist total is from your top 2 centers, not including wingers, so Kucherov doesn't count, just centers?
We're talking, and what was the Oilers number there?
458.
Oh, geez. 320.
300. Do you know, and guess who it is? The ageless wonder, Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. The next highest is Elias Pettersson and JT Miller at 290. And Miller got traded halfway through last year. Like Nathan McKinnon has 242 assists of his own, but the next highest center in Colorado is Ross Colton with 36. Now, he hasn't played all 3 years, so that's part of it, right? And so I guess if you put him and Comper and you added their numbers together, then they would be ahead. Because between the two of them, because JT Comper was there for 1 year, Colton's been there for the last 2, they would be at a combined 71. So that would put them at 313. But still, it just shows you. So there's when I tell you there is no better situation for top 6 wingers in the NHL to produce, it's not a lie. I wanted to show the numbers to illustrate the difference. You're going to play with 2 of the best playmakers in the world. You got to be able to score some goals. So I dug into it on the orders, and I looked and said, which of these, so last year, the 4 wingers who played the most with those 2, Hyman played 776 minutes, Podkolzin 547, Nugent-Hopkins 478, and Arvidsson 462 minutes. Arvidsson played 52% of his total 5-on-5 ice time with them. Podkolzin played 54%, Nugent-Hopkins played 47%, and Hyman played 71%, as he should, right? Because remember, there was times when Draisaitl and McDavid played together, and Hyman was on another line with Nugent-Hopkins. But so those are the top 4 in minutes. Then Brown was 5th, Perry was 6th, Skinner was 7th. So the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th guy, they're all gone. Arvidsson, Brown, Perry, and Skinner. So opportunity knocks. Who's going to answer? Mangiapane? Savoy? Howard? Frederick? Henrique? Who's going to do it? Someone's got to do it. And I dug a little bit deeper just into the numbers last year when certain guys were on the ice. So Nugent-Hopkins, he's the last 3 years, he's played almost 1,300 minutes with McDavid, right? And another 462 with Draisaitl and not with McDavid. So clearly the coach trusts him there. That's obvious. The superstars like playing, but is he really the best option? Funny little number for you. Did you know that last season, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he scored 3 goals with McDavid or Draisaitl on the ice 5-on-5. 2 of them, and McDavid only assisted on 1. The other 2, McDavid was on the ice, didn't get an assist. So Nugent-Hopkins has scored twice as many goals away from Draisaitl and McDavid. He's never been a big, highly productive 5-on-5 player. So would you consider him as a third-line center? I strongly would. I really would. I've seen enough to know what Ryan Nugent-Hopkins can do on my top line. He's reliable. Yes, I get all that. But he doesn't produce a lot of goals for you. He just doesn't. So when I look at it, I say, hey, maybe now's the time to give someone else a look. I can always go back to Nugent-Hopkins. But considering he scored 3 goals with them last year, 3 goals in 478 minutes, and then he scored 6 goals in the other 534 minutes away from them. So 6 goals, 534 without McDavid and Draisaitl, 3 goals with McDavid and Draisaitl. You could make an argument. Maybe he's better on your third line. Maybe. Hyman, he's there. It's an obvious one. Podkolzin, last year he had 8 goals, 5-on-5. 6 of them came with Draisaitl on the ice. Arvidsson had 11 goals last year, 5-on-5, and he scored, I think it was 7 with those guys on the ice. Now he's not here, right? And it's interesting that part of the reason he agreed to his trade was he didn't feel like he got a great opportunity, and I'm kind of like, dude, you played over 50% of your minutes with him. So that's not awful. He just probably didn't produce as much as he would like. That's fine. But so I look at it, you got Podkolzin. I think Podkolzin's got a chance to break out here a little bit from his 8-goal season last year. He was very reliable. He's good on the forecheck. He's physical. We know all that. Skates very well. Is in the 93rd percentile of skaters in the NHL last year. He can move. So he's got all those things going for him. He's good reliably. Draisaitl likes playing with him, but hasn't shown an ability to finish. So I think he'll be in the mix, but I'm not sure that he's a 100% lock. Right? Then there's Savoy, who had a really good first-year pro. 19 goals, 54 points, was 5th in rookie scoring, led the entire American League in plus-minus for a rookie, played on the penalty kill, and actually produced some points on the penalty kill, was on the power play, was on 5-on-5. He's the exact same age as Howard, but he has a year of pro experience. And to me, that's a big advantage. It is like the NHL is not easy. Now, maybe Ike Howard will come in and he'll be that guy. No problem. No problem at all. But it's not a guarantee. And I'm always, some might say I'm too cautious, but I always err on the side of caution when I have expectations for rookies. I just do. So do I think Howard at the end of the regular season will be one of 4 wingers who plays the most minutes with Draisaitl and McDavid? If I had to wager on it, I'd probably say no. It's the first year. I don't think so. Like Mangiapane, I think Hyman's in for sure. And I think Mangiapane, there's a decent chance he'll be in there. Now, this guy in Calgary went 15, 15, 23, 15, 5-on-5 goals. Pretty consistent. And one of those years, the 15 was in the 56 shortened season of 2021. So, pro rate's a little bit higher than that, over 82 games. He's had the one great year where he scored 35 goals, and he had the 23 of them at 5-on-5. He was playing mainly with Michael Backlund that year and Blake Coleman. That's what he did. So he can shoot left. He can play left or right. He's kind of comfortable on both sides. And I think Mangiapane has lots of experience. I'd give him a chance there. Then there's the 2 other guys who I like. Trent Frederick. We've seen big physical players have success playing with McDavid. Not for an extended period of time, but like Patrick Maroon had a great year, had 24 goals, 5-on-5 that year. 27 overall, but 24 or 5-on-5. Now, Maroon, best stretch of hockey in his life came in Edmonton. He had 49 goals in 154 games. He scored 77 goals in the other 694 in his career. So clearly he excelled in Edmonton. Got a chance to play with McDavid. Big body. You know what? Was around the net. That's what he did. And it worked. But then even Zach Kassian. Remember Zach Kassian for a calendar year played really well in that role. Was like in top, I think it was 25 and 5-on-5 scoring. Like he was productive. Didn't do anything on the power play because he didn't get any power play time. Skate. He's big. Could skate. He could move. Trent Frederick's kind of a hybrid of those 2 players. He skates better than Maroon. I don't think he's as tough as Kassian is, but big, strong guy. He's a left shot. I don't rule out that Trent Frederick could have it. Like he's a 3rd-line player for sure, and maybe that's his ceiling. We'll see. But I've seen lots of other players get into their late 20s. He's 27. He's not that late by any stretch, and starts to get a bit more comfortable. Reads the play, thinks the game. Good around the net. Maybe he's an option. And then my wild card option, who Adam Henrique, if Nugent-Hopkins is my 3rd-line winger, I wouldn't be opposed to trying Adam Henrique. In an extremely small sample size, he had lots of success with McDavid. Because to me, he's a better version of Maroon. He's got good hands, actually way better hands. Look, he's an 8-time 20-goal scorer around the net. He's smart. He's good on board battles. I'm not opposed to it. So do I think at the end of the year he'll be there? No, but I think he might get a look. So Hyman and Mangiapane, I think for sure going to be 2 guys in there. Nugent-Hopkins, when it's all said and done, probably might be one of them. I just wouldn't start him there. I'd want to see what Ike Howard can do. I want to see maybe what Matt Savoy can do. I'm going to try it because I know I can always go back to Nugent-Hopkins. If I want to put him on my left wing on McDavid's line or Draisaitl's, either one. He's had success at different times. Never great success as far as a goal scorer goes. But it's something to look for. And all I know is that the Oilers need more production from their wingers playing with McDavid. They just do, right? That to me is like the captain obvious thing. They need guys who can score a few more goals than they did last year, right? Arvidsson had 8 playing with those. I mentioned Podkolzin 6 and Nugent-Hopkins had 3. So I'd consider it. So Cons, I ask you the question. 4 wingers who at the end of the year will have the most minutes played with McDavid and or Draisaitl. Who is your 4?
Well, I mean, like you, I would love to see someone get into that McDavid spot and take it from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, but I know there's just that level of comfortability between whoever it might be, whether it's Hyman or Draisaitl, where I think he'll stay there. like I said, I'd love to see someone come in and grab it, but I don't think it'll happen. So it's going to be Hyman, Nuge. I think this Pod Colson is going to be the spot with Leon Draisaitl, and like you, I think he's due to bounce back offensively. I mean, the goal production just wasn't there. I just don't think that can continue. I think he knows what he has to do. He knows what he has to improve upon. They've got the skills coach, so I think that number is going to rise. And I want to say one of those young guys hits the ground running, but I think it's going to be a bit of a bounce back campaign for Andrew Mangiapane. And not saying he's the level of play that it was when Struddy was picking him to be on the Olympic team, but more of a consistent threat. So 88 on the second line, Mangiapane. That's why I think it'll be Hyman, Mangiapane, Podkolzin, and Nuge.
All right. I didn't mention David Thomasek. I think he's the ultimate wild card, right? He is the ultimate wild card because I don't know much about him. And, he's a bigger body. He's 29, veteran player. He led the league in goals 2 years ago, led the league in points last year in the Swedish Elite League. That's no easy thing. I don't just scoff at it. So he's my wild card of all of them but I don't know enough to be confident, but we'll see. So we'll take your text on that. When we come back, though, we're going to talk tiering for NHL defensemen. Where do the Oilers rank in the tiers? Well, one guy went through each team, have the tiers. We'll discuss it next in the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
McDonald's summer drink days are here. Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's Summer Drink Days. Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at volvocarsedmonton.com.
The 8th annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
It's the Bricks Great Canadian Staycation Sale. Score hot summer savings like up to 20% off outdoor furniture and free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $4.99 or more. Save 60% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Plus, save up to 20% off dining and bedroom furniture. Get up to $400 off big screen TVs and buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. The Brick, saving you more.
It's happened again, and construction season is in full swing. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
There's something we need to talk about. Debt. It's an uncomfortable topic, but the truth is, most of us carry some form of debt, and we are ashamed to talk about it. My name is Parveen Middleton, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. Every day, people struggling with debt come to me for a solution. When you make that call, I'll listen to your story without judgment and will lead you to a debt-free future. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:23. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. As always, the Gregor Show is presented by PlayAlberta.ca and our favorite game, the Daily Grand. Get your tickets today at $1,000 a day for 20 years, which is a total of $7.3 million. You can get a lump sum, boring, or you can just wake up every day and have $1,000. Oh, how fun would that be? Be hard not to have a smile on your face every day. Send that thing in 7 a.m. Boom. Sleep in. Hey, just made $1,000 for sleeping. Love it. Check it out. Good luck. PlayAlberta.ca. It's time to go around the NHL. Brought to you by McDonald's as they continue on the summer of savings, where you can get $2 Sundays, $2 snack size shakes, and even better, download the McDonald's app to your phone and then order a cone and you'll get it for $1 plus tax. Only at McDonald's. And the NHL offseason is never short on topics. It's time where you can dig into to different ideas. And earlier this week over at TSN, Travis Yost came with his talent tiers for defense of all 32 teams. He has them spread across 5 tiers, the Ducks and the Sharks at the bottom in tier 5 with only 2 of them. There's 5 teams in tier 1. 7 in tier 2, and then 9 in both tier 3 and tier 4. And Travis joins us now to discuss it. Travis, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I was going to send you back to that $1,000 a day ad because that's intriguing. I might get a dual citizenship to play in that.
Oh, buddy, it's unreal. Like, think about it. It'd be hard now. You wake up, check your phone. You're not scrolling on social media. You're just like, oh, look at that, $1,000. Day hasn't even started. That would be fantastic. The tiers for defense, the Ducks are intriguing to me because I think as a team they're on their way up. But I do agree with you. Like after Jackson Lacombe, there's some question marks on their blue line.
Yeah, to say the least. And the other thing too is you've got a lot of, it's not like they have the most unrecognizable depth chart. But you got a couple guys who are completely unproven, and you got a couple guys who are getting long in the tooth. And it's not to besmirch the name of Radko Gudas or Jacob Trouba, just to grab 2 there as guys. They were 10-year plus veterans in the NHL, and for many years both of them were bona fide top 4 defensemen. But what you typically see with these rebuilding teams, and I don't want to say it's unanimous, but by and large, these teams that are trying to pull out a deep rebuilds, which Anaheim and San Jose right now, but there have been several teams in the past over the years. I go back to the Edmonton Oilers like 10 years ago, and if you remember like the absolute doldrums of the bottom of the rebuild, so to speak, usually it was the blue line that was like, oh, what are we doing here? And that's where a lot more time and investment and frankly development matters. Defensemen do not enter the league and certainly do not enter the league as effectively at young ages relative to their forward counterparts. So it's really not. Going through the depth charts of Anaheim and San Jose, very, very heavy on, what this group may look like 2 years out from now. But, the 2025, 2026 season, there's going to be a lot of goals in the back of the net, I fear.
We move up to tier 4, and there's a few teams who made the playoffs last year, LA and New Jersey in there, as well as the St. Louis Blues, Seattle, Pittsburgh, Philly, Detroit, Chicago, and Calgary. What is it about the Kings, D-Corps, and New Jersey's that you don't like?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up. So I think it's 2 very interesting 2 teams worth talking about in tier 4 because one, and I'll kind of work in reverse order there. I do have a little bit more time for New Jersey saying, hey, we've got a middle of the pack defense. I actually think some of their defensive goodness as a team, if you're looking at goals against measures, team-based statistics, it's not just what the forwards can do defensively. And you see this across a few different teams. They also have pretty solid goaltending in New Jersey as well, to say the least. But yeah, so I think that group is closer to middle of the pack. I want to spend a little bit more time on LA though, because if you could, you're talking not only about a team that, made the playoffs and was defensively robust last year. I want to say they finished in the top 2, if not number 1 in goals conceded last year in a good way. So, everyone immediately was like, how can you have a team that's in the top 2, top 3, in goals conceded the year prior, graded so low? And I feel relatively confident, much more confident about this one than New Jersey. And I think it's a few factors. Number one, let's not mistake defense with goaltending. I would argue, I'm not saying he's the best goaltender in the league, but if you look at year-over-year track record, and I did the numbers on this last year, or 2 years ago, sorry, Darcy Kemper may be the most predictably reliable good goaltender in the entire league outside of Connor Halley. And their forwards defensively, Kevin Fiala, Adrian Kempa, like these guys are insanely good two-way players, and I think that contributes to a lot of the defensive goodness. The third piece, which I think is the most important one, is when you look at the Kings and look at their offseason, I mean, it's not just that they lost Jordan Spence, who I thought was one of the most underrated moves that Ottawa eventually ended up making this summer to shore up their third pair. It's the names they've lost over the years. It's Sean Durzi. And if you look at who they've brought in, there's Cody Ceci, Brian Dumoulin, Joel Edmondson. I mean, these are guys who have an awful lot of miles on their legs. They have, even at their peaks, were not, I would say, highly effective defensemen. And not to mention, it's another year further into the Drew Doughty Hall of Fame career, but he's certainly on the right side of the aging curve at this point. I just think if you were to isolate a given position group and say which group has taken one of the biggest step downs, year over year, I would say the Kings defensemen. And I do not, if I was a betting man, I would bet heavily, even with how much I love Darcy Kemper in the forward group, I would bet heavily that you see the goals conceded number inflate next year, and not in a good way.
Well, it's funny because Kevin Woodley talked about it, and he said, like, Darcy Kemper's environment was infinitely harder than Connor Hellebuyck's last year in Winnipeg.
No
Connor
doubt.
Hellebuyck had one of the easiest goalie environments in the entire league, and he still won the Vez. But his numbers, it was like 925 to 922 and a 2.02 to a 2.10. Like Darcy Kemper, you're bang on, man. But somehow he still can't even get invited to Canada's orientation camp for the Olympics. I don't get it. But
it's absolutely crazy to me because and by the way, like whether you're a numbers person, I just watched the tape, or my preference, a combination of the two.
Yes.
Darcy Kemper is like the sun rising and setting version of the NHL, which is I know when it's going to come up and I know when it's going to go down. And by and large, it's going to be a beautiful sunrise and sunset. And there is tremendous value in that, not just from a player standpoint. We've talked for decades, maybe even 2 decades, about how much should you really invest in the goaltending position, especially with the influx of European goaltenders in the early 2000s and how much more supply there is readily available. You've seen teams really move away from the workhorse goalie and move towards platoons by and large, even when you've got a starting caliber goalie. Kemper is kind of a diamond in the rough to the extent of, I know this guy's going to be in net for 55 games, and I know that he's going to post a 920 stop rate. And that, to me, is worth an awful lot of money.
Travis Yost from TSN joins us. We're talking about his talent tiers for defense. We'll move up to tier 3, and there's 9 teams again: Boston, Columbus, Minnesota, Montreal, Nashville, the Rangers, the Islanders, Utah, and Tampa. But there's 3 teams I want to touch on: Minnesota, the Rangers, and Tampa Bay. Because Adam Fox quietly had a real down year last year. Travis, so what do you make of Fox and maybe his foot speed, and are they in a tier 3 because of Fox specifically?
Yeah, maybe even only, right? I think if we're talking about big question mark, and maybe I'm not nearly as negative, let's say, Kings level negative versus what maybe the Rangers did here, but it's a pretty big deal in my opinion to swap out Kandra and Miller for Gavrikov from LA. That's number one. Number two, you're absolutely right. Adam Fox did have a down year last year. And even though I think he is one of the, call it, 6 best defensemen in the league, you start looking at this Rangers depth chart. It's Adam Fox and a lot of unproven guys. And one guy they are hoping they're swapping skill sets, obviously, between Miller and Gavrikov. But they're hoping for, hey, look, we're gonna have gains off puck defensively. We're trying to thin down how many goals we're conceding with this pairing on the ice. I'm relatively confident that Fox can have a bounce back year, but boy, there is a lot of unproven young players on this depth chart behind them. And again, and this is a point that I ended up, I feel, having to repeat myself, which means I probably didn't do a good enough job at the top of this article explaining this, but it's an important point. You can have the best first pairing in the league.
Yes.
They're only going to play 35 to 40% of the minutes. And you can have the best top 4 in the league. They're only going to play about 70% of the minutes. Like, you need 5 to 6 quality defensemen, because those minutes have to be reasonably proportionally allocated across all 6 defensemen that you're icing. And when you look at the Rangers, if nothing else, looks like a very, very top-heavy group, and they are betting on development to carry out those bottom 2 pairs. We've seen this go both ways, but to me, that's middle of the pack at best.
Travis Yost joins us. Tampa Bay, a few years ago, they probably doing a tier 1, man. They had, like, when you had Sergachev and Hedman and everybody, like, they were good, right? But Sergachev's gone. McDonough's a little bit older. You know, Hedman, I still like him a lot, but Tampa Bay is definitely not the Tampa Bay of when they were a perennial Cup finalist.
They're certainly not. And you could even argue, I know goaltenders age a little bit better, but again, it's very similar to the LA point, which is I'm reasonably confident that Tampa Bay is a playoff team, right? And I'm reasonably confident they're going to be in the top 8 to top 10 and even strength scoring, right? And they're probably going to have average to above average defensive measures, sure. But a key piece of that would be, hey, Andrei Vasilevsky is going to play 55 games for us in net. And it's like, what your point, you hammer on nail, at least when you're addressing the depth chart here, right? Victor Hedman, you can sing the praises for him to the nth degree. I certainly will. Another Hall of Fame level defender, but not exactly young. And by the way, he's one of 2 guys, Ryan McDonough, Eric Cernak. Like these, there's a lot of miles on these guys, and these are not guys, even if you expect them to be steady defensemen, so to speak, the upside is limited at best, right? And the one thing I will say, and I know this is a random shout out, but one of the reasons I love doing this is you kind of find like funny or interesting statistical nuggets about some of these depth charts. You would be hard pressed to find a better third pairing net contributor than Darren Radish, who's 29 years old and the textbook definition of a late bloomer. But man, he's come into the Tampa Bay organization. He's played quite well. So I think it's still a decent group, but I am definitely of the same mind as you. There's not a lot of upside in this group, and maybe likely they're an adequate group, but the downside risk is fairly substantial when you've got a group this long in the tooth.
Travis, I want to jump ahead to tier 1 because it obviously we're in Edmonton, and you have the Oilers as one of 5 teams in tier 1: Colorado, Carolina, Dallas, Edmonton, and the Ottawa Senators. So maybe we'll focus on the Canadian teams there. But, here in Edmonton, I think at times some people, like the Oilers have been to 2 Stanley Cup finals. Now, I know they've lost to Florida, but I think the Oilers have a pretty good team. They're the only team in the NHL that has 4 defensemen who have scored at least 40 points once in the last 3 seasons. Bouchard, of course, has done it every time, and the other 3, Wallman, Ekholm, and Nurse, have done it. They move the puck up very well, or they can transport it up the ice quite well. What is it that you like so much about the Oilers' blue line? Because I find sometimes people in Edmonton are like, man, I don't really like our D-core. And I'm like, what? I think their D-core is one of the strengths of their team.
I think so too. I'll be clear. Like I have, and I think I even wrote it in the blurb, right? I have tremendous 99th percentile heartburn over their goaltending situation going into the year. And we've seen their defense come under pressure against high degree, high caliber playoff competition deep into the playoffs. And people always point to a Florida series. And it's like, this is my point, guys. We're talking about the Stanley Cup final against the deepest team in the league in the Eastern Conference, right? Like, and the other part that I think is a classic misnomer, and it's one of the areas where I wish, the stats world's gotten a gazillion things wrong. One of the things I think that community's gotten right is it's at the end of the day, this is a game of goal differentials. It's certainly in the modern era. And if you're going to nitpick a player like Evan Bouchard, who will make the occasional off-puck mistake, he's playing super aggressive in the offensive zone. By the way, I can rattle off 20 other names, Shea Theodore, first pairing level guys who do the exact same stuff. If you're going to take away from them because of the goals they're conceding, then you have to give them credit for the goals on ice that they are igniting. And to me, what Edmonton has is a 3-pairing setup where they've got at least one high-end puck mover on that blue line to complement the 2-headed freakish monster in Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And one thing about Bouchard that I always come back to, and this is over 1,000 minutes at this point, so I think it's pertinent. Both McDavid and Draisaitl, who we would argue are two of the 3 at worst, best players in the world, both of them see a material increase in on-ice scoring when Evan Bouchard is playing defense. And it's like, well, why would that be the case? And it's like, maybe, just maybe, it's helpful to have a defenseman who can skate with the puck, transition on the attack. You get Connor McDavid going with a head of steam, receiving a tape-to-tape pass in the neutral zone. Who was stopping him? Nobody. And that to me is like, I have time. If you're saying, hey, look, we're just measuring this group based on their defensive capabilities, their abilities to keep pucks out of the net, yeah, of course, the Oilers are probably tier 3, maybe even veering to tier 4. But I give them a tremendous amount of credit because they bring a lot of offensive skill to the table. And this is where I'm going to beautifully transition. I mentioned Jordan Spence was probably, I think, the most underrated acquisition because of what he does to solidify Ottawa's third pair, the other team that I have in tier 1. My favorite trade deadline acquisition, and I wrote about it at the time, was Jake Wallman to Edmonton for these same exact reasons. You need to be able in this era to ice 3 quality pairings. And depending on what your team does well, you need to either find complementary skill sets or you need to supplement what you do have up front. And to me, what Edmonton has done is said, look, we win games by and large on offense. There is no shame in that, by the way. And we do have goaltending concerns. So we know in a regular season, keeping our foot on the gas, by it far and away, outside of maybe a Vegas game, outside of maybe an LA game, and I'm skeptical about that. They're going to outscore teams and on the road to maybe a third Stanley Cup. And it's like, that has to be worth something. I think the organization has done a great job building up the blue line. Over real quick to Ottawa, the other team that you brought up. I found the Ottawa debate even more puzzling. Not that people thought Ottawa did not have a good blue line, but it was like, well, tier 1, really? And it's like there is like we've talked about, there is a tremendous benefit to being able to roll 3 pairings with a high degree of confidence. And if you look at Ottawa's depth chart right now and the way it stacks up, you're talking about a potential third pairing of Tyler Clevin, who I don't want to say is a blue chip prospect, but somewhere in the vicinity, and they're certainly betting on big upside there, paired with Jordan Spence, who can play in a top 4 role today right now. And that is their third pairing. Forget the Sandersons and Shabbats of the world. So it's like, that's the part where, to me, you've got to balance both when you do this sort of analysis, and I'm just one guy, right? But you do have to balance what does the top end bring me versus what does the depth bring me? Because at the end of the day, hockey really is a 23-man sport. You're always going to have 5 guys on the ice unless it's a special team situation, and you need all those guys to be contributors. And the other side of that coin is if you don't have someone who's a contributor and they're a hole in your lineup, those holes routinely find ways to fill up the loss column in the standings. And every team in the league can point to a guy or several guys who qualify that statement. So to me, I think what Edmonton and Ottawa have both done is pretty significant, and I think it sets them up for big success again next year.
And one last one, Travis. Florida's decor in tier 2. How come?
So I went back and forth on this, and it's kind of the opposite of what I was talking about. It's very similar to the LA point, which is I think Florida has one of the 6 or 7 or 8 best blue lines in the league. But let's be a little cautious with giving what is otherwise a very good, 3-pairing team. You get Mikko Mikkola, who has emerged as a bona fide top 4 defender. You still got Aaron Ekblad there. Seth Jones, I think, is still a wild card, but he looked fantastic in the playoffs. So anyone who's skeptical of that had to have been less skeptical after watching him in the playoffs. Gustav Forsling, they have a robust top 4, but, and it's not a but against them in this case because I graded them well. They may have the best collection, at least the first 3 lines of defensive forwards in the entire league. And I wrote about this throughout the playoffs, but the reason why Edmonton, and let's go back to the Stanley Cup final, a reason why Edmonton, and they were not the only team tortured by Florida, a reason why they had such tremendous difficulty breaking through was defense is a 5-man team. And again, and this is why every Panthers fan who basically said, how are we not tier 1? I basically said, guys, can you wait? Give me 6 days and 20 hours. And because we're about to unveil the wingers next Monday. And I think you're going to be satisfied with that. And to me, that's the nuance of it, right? I've got to be able to apportion some of that defensive credit to a team that is as good defensively in the forward group as you can find in the entire league. So ultimately, that again, it's a 2-way sport. We measure everything on goal differential. And to me, the wingers contribute. And of course, guys like Barkov contribute in such a meaningful way there.
Travis, great stuff, man. We look forward to the winger rating when it comes out. Thanks for this. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, good stuff. Take care, guys.
That's Travis Yost from TSN. Check it out. We had it up. I posted again on my Twitter feed if you want to see the tiers, or you can go read the article. Just Google Travis Yost TSN tiers, orders in tier 1. And he does a good job of explaining it. You don't have to agree with it. It makes for a good conversation. But the orders decor is, I think, better than some in Edmonton. Want to give him credit for. Pretty darn good. They're the only decor in the entire NHL that has 4 guys who have scored 40 points in the last 3 years. They also, Edmonton, did you know, allowed the fewest high danger chances in the NHL, or high danger shots on goal in the NHL last year. Quick break. When we come back, what are your favorite segments of the week? Thirsty Thursday on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way.
Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. TNA Wrestling makes its explosive debut at the Expo Centre on Friday, September 26th and Saturday, September 27th for back-to-back nights. Buy your tickets online today. Learn more about what's happening at the Expo Centre by visiting the calendar of events online at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved equipment auction is next Friday at 9 a.m. Featuring articulated dumps, backhoes, dozers, drum and padfoot packers, excavators, graders, man lifts, motor scrape, skid steers, pavers, turf mowers, wheel loaders, plus commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Want some good news? St. Albert Dodge is holding the biggest sale of the year on their in-stock Ram 1500 Sports. Every single one on the lot is discounted by a whopping $14,000. Yeah, 14 grand. And St. Albert Dodge has the best selection in Alberta. Over 90 Ram 1500 Sports to choose from, with great packages, including the Night Edition and GT models, all $14,000 off the ticket price. Get down there and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's next major public unreserved industrial auctions are next Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. These major unreserved auction events include multiple auction lanes, selling a large selection of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
247. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X and Instagram. The Gregor Show, always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. And Vladdy Guerrero Jr. has 20 home runs again, 5th time in his Jays career. He had a 2-run shot. Jays are leading. They're in a little bit of trouble here with the runners on second and third, no out. But Little has had 1 strikeout, and see if he can get another one here. He's throwing a slurve and quite a good breaking ball. So we'll see if the bullpen can pitch their way out of this. Find out. In the meantime, it is Thirsty Thursday. Become a very popular segment on our show right before the weekend. Brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. 2 locations. Southsiders, 50th Street, 92nd Ave, or go to the OG location on 118th Ave and St. Albert Trail. You want beer, wine, cocktails, spirits from all over the world. They got it, and they got a very healthy array of non-alcoholic beverages. And today, it's going to be an educational one. We're going to learn about adaptogens. It's like, hey, we need to adapt in different areas on the ice, on the court, on the field, but now adaptogens in what we consume. As David Owens joins us again from Sherbrooke Liquor. What's an adaptogen, Dave?
Adaptogens, yeah. So adaptogens are often herbs, roots, or mushrooms, as some of your listeners might have dabbled in here or there. And they help with the
What are you saying about our listeners, Dave? Come on now.
Well, I'm one of the listeners too, right? Yeah. So
in our young, youthful times, right?
Youthful times, that's right.
I thought it was chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. I used to wrap in cheese whiz. Anyways, these things, they help the body to adapt to stress. And it's about bringing things back towards a balance. So a state called homeostasis, right? So, this particular beverage, so we're going to do this. There's several drinks that are out there right now that are starting to do, they call them functional beverages. And this one is called Hyo. And it is a organic, non-alcoholic social tonic. So kind of a seltzer kind of thing. There's a whole bunch of different flavors to it. And they claim to give you sort of evoke the float is what they use their term.
Invoke the float.
Invoke the float. So it's a light, uplifting, sort of slightly dreamy sensation, kind of akin to like runner's high. If you ever have that, or if you're a cyclist and you're after you've gone for a good ride or things like that. It's that buzz that you get after that really high energy workout.
So today we're having some Hyo, Hio. Right. It's unbelieliable, and this is a non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic, yeah. So they're the adaptogens that are in it. So these are the functional pieces they took out. So we've got some ashwagandha. So that's a adaptogenic herb that helps relieve stress by regulating cortisol. Also supports memory, muscle strength, cardiovascular health. L-theanine or theanine, depending on how you pronounce that, a calming amino acid from decaf green tea. So it's kind of known as a happy molecule, brightens mood, improves focus, supports sleep, strengthens immunity. We've got lion's mane in it, and that's that nootropic mushroom that supports.
Lion's
mane. That's right.
It's a type of mushroom?
That's a type of mushroom.
It's got to be powerful.
It's a nootropic mushroom. Supports mental clarity, cognitive performance, may aid in addressing depression, anxiety, neurodegeneration. We've got some lemon balm in here. So that's a calming herb that helps stabilize the mood.
So this is all in one? The blackberry lemon?
All in every single one of them, yeah.
Oh, okay, in each one.
Each one, yeah. They also have passion flower in them. So that's known for relaxation benefits, reducing anxiety, improving sleep, eating stress, disorder, depressive behavior. And then some ginger. So that's gentle in the gut, supports that digestion, eases that nausea, provides antioxidant, antimicrobial protection. So the first one we've had is this blackberry lemon. So kind of bold, tangy, really lush berry vibes. And I know that we tried these when they first sort of came in. I haven't tried them all yet, but we could tell the nose off. You could smell it right away. That's that full berry flavor.
Oh, and buddy, it's good. Like, because for people out there that you're like, what, hey, I don't want to have a drink tonight. Totally fine. And sometimes there's the psychology involved in going somewhere where you just feel like, hey, I want to have something in my hand. I maybe want a glass or whatever it is. This is really good.
This is really good. That's exactly what we said. Like wow, it was just like immediately. It was so good. The smell is really big off of it. The flavors are full, bold, and natural.
Right, and not a lot of sugar.
Not a lot of sugar.
Yeah, there's like minimal amount of sugar. Yeah, so I like
30
that.
Calories, 5 grams of sugar in each one of these things, and it's good for you.
This would be good for striping if you want it.
This would be good for striping.
Right. For those of us who, if you're just learning this, so striping is when you can have like an alcoholic drink, and then a non-alcoholic drink, then an alcoholic drink and a non-alcoholic drink. So you're there for 4 hours. You have 4 drinks, but only 2 of them are alcoholic.
That's right.
So
anyone with these things, if you
not alcoholic, have alcohol.
These things are great. Like if you're wanting to reduce your Red Bull consumption, this doesn't have all that really.
Hey,
crazy
stop. Are
hyped
you
up
listening
stuff,
out
right?
there? Patreon our buddy, stop. Hello.
Right. This is about bringing balance to the force, not hyping you over the top, right?
Yeah.
Taking you to the dark side. So this is watermelon lime is this next one here. So it's sort of another really light, refreshing.
Oh my God, it smells really good.
Right. So that lime really comes through on that.
Woo, I love lime. Ooh,
just a total crusher,
kind of
right?
tangy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
The lime watermelon. That's kind of a unique blend.
And I love that the watermelon doesn't come through as a, because sometimes you get those watermelon flavors and drinks and they're like a fake.
Yeah.
Or they find too much sugar to get it. This is so clean, so light, super refreshing.
And this one doesn't even have sugar in it. So this one has less sugar. The watermelon lime.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Anybody who's out there, you're counting calories, you're worried about it. So there you go. Because some people, if you're drinking pop or some other things, like, hey, this will be a much better for you, much healthier. It's got what is called lion's mane.
That's right.
Come on,
that's right.
It's powerful. What are you drinking? Lion's mane.
Lion's mane.
No big deal. So
beautiful.
I like it a lot. So up next we have a peach mango.
Peach mango, yeah. So this is really sweet, tropical, juicy,
very peach smelling.
Yeah. Ooh, it's like a fruity salsa dancing on your palate. That's what they say.
I
don't know who they are.
Freddie's taking notes down there. How to describe a lot better what a beverage tastes like.
I tell you, I think Strutty's dancing style is kind of like a fruity salsa.
Oh, wait, that is actually very accurate.
Right.
Very accurate. Well, he likes a little side shuffle.
There you go.
Right. Well, yeah, that is, you know what? The thing so far I've noticed, like the flavor matches the name. Like the peach mango, you take a sip of that, it's very peach. If you like peach, you'd very much like this.
Yeah. And the thing, and again, I've repeated myself a lot here, but it's so natural. Like there's none of that fake juice flavor in any of this stuff.
Yes.
And all this is organic. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, all non-GMO ingredients. So really it is it is a very, well put together, good for you, healthy alternative.
And do you have the strawberry guava that I just tried?
Yeah.
And of all, like definitely not very sweet at all. Because some people don't like drinking sweet. And I'm one of those guys. I don't like I love sweets to eat. I don't like drinking sweet. That strawberry guava, no sweet taste to it whatsoever.
And we were surprised by that too, because when you first smell it, it almost smells like it has a little bit of that fake strawberry sweetness to it.
Yeah.
And then you sip it and it's like not there at all.
Not at all.
It's just super clean and natural.
Yeah, like you could sit here, because I know a lot of times for people out there, you just like the taste.
Yeah.
You like to have a taste of a drink, but you're like, man, I don't really want the alcohol portion of it. I can understand why these have become popular for lots of people.
And and this last one, this strawberry guava one, it almost reminds me of when you have a strawberry, you get that texture in your mouth and you feel the seeds and there's I get that sensation by drinking it too. It's like it's like eating the strawberry.
Yeah, like there's a slight little aftertaste from it, which I like.
Yeah. And then last but not least is a passion fruit tangerine. So
organic,
all
passion
organic
fruit, tangerine.
Yeah, they're all of them are.
Yeah, that one of the 5, that's the one where I'm not sure the taste matches the name, which is okay. It's not bad, but the other ones to me were quite noticeable. I'm like, okay, that's watermelon lime.
It definitely gets the tangerine out of it, but the passion fruit's pretty mild in it.
Yeah.
But it definitely has that tartness of that tangerine.
But so does this come in like a 5-pack, or these all singles?
These are all singles. So
all singles. So you could come in, buy one to try.
Yep.
You buy a few different ones depending on what you want. But man,
so we've got
they're very different tasting.
Very different. Yeah. But they're very, like I said, they're very clean, very natural. Just nice and chilled. Pour it over ice if you want to. And heck, if you really wanted to get crazy, you could probably put some gin in these, and it would be pretty tasty also.
Oh God, yeah. If you wanted to add something to it, for sure.
Yeah.
But just as like a sipper, if you're ever striping out, you want to go to an event, you just say, hey, and if you buy the can, most people, if you're worried about people, I don't want people to know I'm not drinking. I'm not sure why some people still have that. You worry about it.
It's going to look like you're not drinking.
But I think most people don't care. But if you do, and you're worried about that, well, this is a way to get around it.
no question.
Yeah, packaging is great. It looks like you're drinking a cooler if you had it there. If you pour this into a nice cocktail glass, it's
surprise your young adult drinkers. You just, hey, I got a new drink for you. Just pour it in. They'll probably think there's alcohol in, and there's none.
Exactly. Yeah.
Trick them a little bit. Oh no, that's good. You've had 2. You're good. So that's the Hiyo, Hiyo, located at both locations.
Correct.
To try it out. This is for people who like the non-alcoholic drinks. And we had, hey guys, if you consist of non-alcoholic beers from JC, we already did a segment. You missed it, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be doing another one.
We'll do another one.
We've
got so many coming
Oh
in
my
right
God.
now. It's huge. Our section is just blowing up. It's insane.
It's massive. Like I was at a buddy's house and I brought over, I stopped in and got 4 of the non-alcoholic Guinness.
Yeah.
Because, everybody's like, I don't believe you. I'm like, all right. So I brought him over. They were just like, all the guys had one and they're just like, man, you can notice it a bit. It's
just a little bit in the body.
So subtle. It's not much different at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, and I'm finding a lot of the sours that are starting to come out. If you're a sour beer kind of fan,
yes,
those ones are really on point.
Yes. So the non-alcoholic section at Sherbrooke is definitely a place you want to stop. You want to do some striping, and you just want to try some different things. Mix up. Obviously, if you're going there for beer or cocktails, they got it all from anywhere in the world. Check that out. Wine, even sake. We've talked sake on the show. I've learned a lot from old sake Steve.
Yeah.
So you guys call him that now? That's what you call him now.
Sake Steve. Yeah. Sake Master Steve. That's right.
Awesome. Well, that's great, man. The Hiyo. Check it out at Sherbrooke Liquor, 2 locations, south side on 50th Street, and of course, the original location on 118th Ave and St. Albert Trail. Best selection in the city for sure. Whether you're alcoholic or non-alcoholic beverages, check it out at Sherbrooke Liquor. Dave, have yourself an awesome weekend.
Yeah, we'll do yourself as well, and we'll talk to you next.
Yeah, well, it'll be the con man will be running the show for you next Thursday.
That's right. We'll bring some special stuff for him.
Yeah, bring something soft for him for sure.
That's right.
Yeah, love it. There we go. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays in action, taking on the Cubs right now. Bottom of the 8th inning. They lead 2-1 with a runner on second, 1 out. One other game going on. Rain delay currently in the top of the 6th. So the Orioles lead the Mariners 5-0. Later today, Marlins up against the Guardians. Phillies take on the Nationals. Braves in New York for a meeting with the Mets. Twins host the Tigers and the Diamondbacks. Taking on the Rockies in Czechia. We've got semifinal action at the Lincoln Gressel Cup tomorrow morning. Canada meets the U.S. at 11. You also the Finns taking on Sweden in the other semifinal. Playoff action in the CEBL tonight. Stingers down in Calgary taking on the Surge. Tip off at 7:30. At 5, Scarborough will host Montreal. And Week 11 in the CFL kicks off with the Bombers taking on the Red Blacks at 6:30. BMW Championship Round 1 action. Victor Hovland and Ricky Fowler atop the leaderboard at 3 under par. As for Canadians, Taylor Pender's leading the way, currently even. You got Nick Taylor 2 over, and Corey Connors still on the course right now, 4 over par. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Steve Gardner from USA Today to take a look around the majors, and we'll speed things up in the Cantork Racing Report with Colin Livingston. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
Mr. Rooter connects with Gen Z.
I have 84 followers, as my niece would say. Slay.
No, that's cringe.
How do I get more?
You're a plumber. Make a skibbity toilet joke.
A skibbity what now?
Or make a fashion calendar full of super hot plumbers, plumbers with drip.
Young lady, I'd appreciate it if you'd stop acting so thirsty around my employees.
Burn, Uncle Mr. Rooter.
Slay.
For a plumber who cooks, call Mr. Rooter.
Edmonton Elks Country Night is back Friday, August 15th against Toronto. Presented by Coconut Cowboy Rub, featuring the EE Bull Riding Competition, country music all night long, plus a petting zoo and pony rides for the kids. Tickets start at just $20 at GoElks.com.
McDonald's summer drink days are here. Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's Summer Drink Days. Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings. At participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at volvocarsedmonton.com.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14.
Lovely Thursday
afternoon. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save on Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save on
Connor Halley,
Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30
47. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports
1440. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their
X
checking
and
account.
Instagram. The Gregor Show
are
the best way to get the used RV. And we got to be able
That's
to.
right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen when I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob. But less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.306 Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And my goodness, if you're a fan of relief pitchers, the relief pitchers so far coming in and getting the job done. The Jays gave up and Max Scherzer pitched really well through 7 innings, and then starts the 8th, gives up a double. So they bring in Little, walks one guy, and then gets 2 strikeouts, and then they bring in who came in after him? What's his name? Dominguez comes in. He gets a strikeout and outstanding. So 3 Ks in the 8th inning for your relief pitchers with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Woo-hoo! It's called big time, baby. That's what you need. And now the Jays will look to try to close it out against the Cubbies and win another series, because if they win this afternoon, that'll be 2-1 in the series. See, Conman and Declan trying a high-o right now. So, what would be your first assessment of the high-o?
It is quite good, actually. I went for the strawberry guava. I don't know what the benefits of this one are, but yeah, really good, actually. And you know what? Like, it kind of looks like one of the modern day seltzers that you'll see out there. And like, so, you know, if you wanted to just have one and have nobody question you, probably pull it off. And it doesn't even really taste that alcohol-y. Like, it kind of just tastes like a good beverage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm intrigued by it. The adaptogen in this one, I hope they're beneficial and get me through the day feeling good.
Yeah, no, they should be great. The Stingers tonight, people wondering, the Stingers are in action on the road against the Calgary Surge. Win, and they will move on to the Final Four in the CEBL. The Riverhawks would have been in the final tonight. Unfortunately, lost on Tuesday, but wrapped up another fantastic season for them. And I know baseball fans are already looking forward to next year, which is great. But the organization, they'll take some time tomorrow, and they would have loved to finish it off. They had a very good squad this year, and just unable to finish it off down the stretch. But I thought had a really good year on and off the field, which is fantastic. Hey, Gregor, really enjoyed that with Travis Yost. Very well presented on the defense tiers. Yeah, you know what? I like looking at it and, where teams rank. So Ottawa, Edmonton, Dallas, Carolina, and Colorado were in his Travis Yost's top tier. Then you had Buffalo, Florida, Toronto, Vancouver, Vegas, Winnipeg, and Washington, tier 2. Boston, Columbus, Minnesota, Montreal, Nashville, the Rangers, the Islanders, Utah, and Tampa, tier 3. Flames, Blackhawks, Red Wings, Kings, Devils. Kings and Devils, interesting, both in tier 4. Along with the Blues, they all made the playoffs last year. And then the Penguins and Seattle. And in tier 5, you have the Anaheim Ducks and the San Jose Sharks. And, the Ducks, I think, are a team that people feel like they could be moving up, but it could be a challenge simply because of their back end. Now, I love Jackson Lacombe. He is really good. And you know what? Trouba and Racco Gudis, you got to have your head up when they're on the ice. And I think there's some value in that. But, Travis talked about, they value the puck moving ellability and mobility overall, because after that, you got Drew Hellison, and Kayoff, young player, Olin Zellweger. You still got, when you have that much youth on your back end, history tells you it's really hard because they're just going to make some mistakes. That's normal. Everybody does it, but you have too much youth on your back end, it's really hard to win. And the Ducks, I think, are going to be competitive, but the Ducks are going to have to outscore their mistakes some games. So, there's some teams, hey, the Oilers can lock it down if they have to. No problem. The Ducks, I'm not sure how many low-scoring games they're going to have this season. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge for them. Now, the advantage they have, they got Lucas Dostal, pretty good netminder in Anaheim. And it was interesting when Travis was discussing his D tiers, because people are like, well, how can LA look at their goals against? Yeah, but look at the chances given up. If you have a great goalie, that can make your defense core look better. It just does. You can give up a lot of chances, but this guy's saving it. And Darcy Kemper, like I said it last week when we were talking about the orientation camp for Team Canada, and Darcy Kemper's not there. Tell me why. What numbers can show you that Darcy Kemper isn't one of the top 3 Canadian goalies right now in the world? Honestly, I don't get it. I really don't. So I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to bring more goalies to the orientation camp this month, but they're sticking with the same 3. And I know, obviously, Binnington's going to be there because he won at the Four Nations. But Aiden Hill and Montembeault, you're locking them in almost. I'm not sold on that personally. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. The Daily Grand goes tonight, $1,000 a day for the next 20 years, $7.3 million. Get yours at PlayAlberta.ca. We got some other texts. Hey, Gregor, I read your article on the Oilers' top 6 wingers. Interesting. What do you make of Nugent-Hopkins? I never would have thought that he scored more goals away from McDavid and Draisaitl than with them. Why do you think that is, Dan? Well, I'd probably have to go back to more than just 1 year, Dan. Would probably be a little bit better to look at for me. But I think, it's kind of twofold. When he's with them, he's a really good distributor. And he had 3 goals playing with those 2, but he had 7 assists. Now it's 2-1, so some would argue, well, there's twice as many assists. But he had, and I think all those assists but 1 was the primary assist on it. So I think in some cases, Nugent-Hopkins, a good passer. He's got that snapshot. Everybody sees it. But He did score a few of his goals shorthanded last year. I don't really have a great answer as to why he would score more goals away from McDavid and Draisaitl than he did with them. But last year, 5-on-5, he played just under 500 minutes with McDavid and or Draisaitl. Was basically one or the other. I think they played 5 minutes as a trio. But he had 3 goals, and all of them were with McDavid on the ice because he played mainly with McDavid. Although McDavid only assisted on one of his goals. But then in the 478 minutes away from McDavid and Draisaitl, he scored 6 goals. So, yeah, it's kind of odd. But the thing to me, I believe Nugent-Hopkins, we know what he is if he's on your first-line left winger with McDavid. He's reliable. He'll move the puck around great. But he's not going to score a lot of goals. He never really has. He had 1 year that he was a pretty decent 5-on-5 scorer in his whole career. He's had good years, 15, 16. But, his last 2 seasons, both under 14 goals, 5-on-5. And if he can produce away from them, why not keep him as your third-line center? You have a pretty good, I think the Oilers have lots of options for their top 9 winger positions. So let's just go through it. You got Hyman. Hyman's the obvious one to me. He's slotted in the right wing on McDavid's line. I think that's captain obvious. But then who's your second line right winger? Who's your third line right winger? You got some options. Mangiapane can play the right side. Matt Savoy can play the right side. David Tomasek can play the right side. So there's 3 options. Now, Mangiapane can also play on your left side. Same with Podkolzin. Same with Trent Frederick. You mix in Adam Henrique on that side, and they got options. There's no doubt in my mind they got options. I just don't know, did I mention Podkolzin? I think I said Podkolzin, but if not, obviously Podkolzin. I don't know who the best fit is, but I've seen enough of Nugent-Hopkins to know what I got when he was playing left wing with Connor McDavid. So why wouldn't I consider trying someone else? I can always go back to Nugent-Hopkins, but Ike Howard, can he get a look? I know he's a rookie, and my thoughts on rookies. I'm ultra cautious. I will have a low bar expectation. Do you know how many rookies had 30 points in the NHL on a playoff team last year? 4. Stan Coven played on 2 teams, traded from Dallas to Carolina, both playoff teams. He's 1. You had Bolduc. You had Jackson Blake also in Carolina. And who am I missing? Who's the 4th one? Geez, I wrote this. You'd think I would remember who the other one was. Oh yeah, of course. How can I forget it? In Florida, Mackie Samaskevich. However, yeah, they had 30 points, but Bolduc had 12 of them on the power play. Samaskevich had 11. Stan Coven had 8. Blake had 7. Is Ike Howard going to get that much? He's not going to be on the number 1 power play unit. So if he's here, he's going to be on the second unit. How many points? I know they're going to play more this year. I've been told that by the organization, but they would like to see an increase in minutes for their second. Now, not 50-50. Don't go crazy. But it might be like $1.20 and then 40 seconds for the second unit potentially. So we'll see, how it all breaks down at the end. But you have to have realistic expectations. When people talk about the Celebrinis and others, those guys are getting primo minutes because their team stinks. Right? Remember the Oilers? When their teams were terrible. Yeah, Hall, Nugent-Hopkins, Eberle, they got lots. Yakupov, they got lots of big minutes, big power play minutes because the team stunk. Well, this team doesn't stink. Like David and Draisaitl are your top line guys. They're getting top line minutes. They're getting top line power play minutes. And then you got a lot of veterans. Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins, go down the list. We all know that. So Ike Howard, even 30 points, it would be great. But that's a pretty big ask when you just look at rookies on playoff teams. And that's what the Oilers are. You can't just look at Bedards and, Celebrinis and other rookies. You have to look at rookies on playoff teams where how many minutes did those guys play last year? Stan Coven, he was an exception. And a lot of that came was when he went to Carolina, his minutes played went up, but he averaged over 50 minutes a game. The other guys averaged 12 or 13. And that's okay. But you can't expect a guy to put up big numbers when he's not going to get huge minutes. It's just hard to do. Hey, Gregor, shoot the wrong way and can't win a defensive faceoff. Josh, who? Nugent-Hopkins? Nugent-Hopkins he's not dominant in the faceoff circle, but the last few years, he's a veteran in the league. He's 49, 50%. It's serviceable. It's manageable. He's not dominant. He's not Draisaitl. I would agree with that, but he's not. This isn't young Nugent-Hopkins who used to be like 43% in the faceoff dot, right? He's not that anymore. He can hold his own for you. Ideally, you wanted him to take it on his strong side for sure, right? That's what you want. So last year, the Oilers faceoffs, because you got to remember they got Draisaitl and they got Henrique. Both of those guys took over 1,000 draws, and Henrique was 55%. Draisaitl was 54.4%. They take a lot of them, right? Nugent-Hopkins was actually better in the faceoff circle than Connor McDavid, and he was actually 48.5% last year. So, yeah, you're right. He can be my third line center. And here's the thing: what if I played David Tomasek on his line? He can take the right hand faceoffs, and Nuge can take the left. I guarantee you, Nugent-Hopkins on his strong side is higher. I would like to get that stat from the NHL. I'm sure they have it, but I would like to see the difference for the strong or weak side for Nugent. That's something I'd like to track because I think it makes a big difference. No question. Hey, guys, I think Nugent-Hopkins is the most overrated center in Oilers history. Good, not great at anything. Never would have done what Horkoff did during the 06 run. Give him credit as a responsible player and being able to switch from wing to center. That's it. Well, I guess my question is, so you say he's the most overrated center in Oilers history, but has anybody ever said he's great? I don't know if I've ever read an article that says Nugent-Hopkins is great. I know I've never written one. Beck hasn't written one. Well, he hasn't written one all summer, but I don't know if I've seen an article stating Nugent-Hopkins is great. He can do a lot of different things. He can be on your penalty kill. He can be on your power play. So he's a well-rounded player who I believe is not great at anything, but is good at a lot of things. That's how I would have it. Hey, Gregor, how many goals have the Oilers scored in the power play after the 1 minute and 20-second mark? Fraser. I looked at that a few years ago. Fraser, be surprised. They were actually pretty good at it. So, but you have to remember there's twofold on that question. If they have possession in the offensive zone, I don't care if it's a minute 10, a minute 20, minute 30, you're not changing. Right? Like if the puck gets iced and you lose possession with $1:20 to go, then I can see changing. But if they're maintaining possession, even if they don't score, then it's more so how many times do they not have possession after a minute 10 even? Because by the time you ice the puck and then go regroup, now you're coming back in, it's about $1.35, right? $1.40. I think that would be the better question. But I do know, and I did go through it a few years ago looking at it, and the Oilers had actually scored a decent, it wasn't a ton. They used to be better at scoring really early in the first 30 seconds in the power play. And I think maybe teams have kind of picked up on some things there, but it's a good question. It's something that probably have to go back and look at exactly on how many times they scored in the first minute of a power play or second minute. It's a good question. Hey, Gregor, having Tomasek penciled in the lineup is dangerous. Well, who had him penciled in, man? No one. I just said he's the biggest wild card in the team. David Tomasek could be in your first line, could be on your second line, third line, could be in the press box. I don't know. I really don't know where he fits in the team. He is the biggest wild card, and that's what makes him the most. To me, he's my number one player I'm most interested to watch in training camp, without question. You got to remember, he led the Swedish Elite League. This is not a chump change league. It's a really good league. He led that league in goals 2 years ago. This past season, he led it in points, was third in goals. That's 2 consecutive really good years in a strong league that's hard to put up offense because they're very defensive oriented. This guy might flourish here. He might struggle. I honestly have no idea. I think the range in predictions on what Tomasek could be one of the biggest ones because I have no idea. I'm not sure anybody does. Hey, Gregor, the one thing Nuge is great at is looking younger than anyone else. Touche, Gord Oil. He does age very well, old young Nugent-Hopkins. Maybe he puts a lot of oil of Olay on. We'd have to ask him. Does he have a face moisturizing routine? You know, I've never asked him that question. Maybe I should for fun this year. Catch him off guard. Hey, Nuge, what's your skincare routine? What is it? Maybe it's just natural. Maybe it's cold water. You read that? You should wash your face with cold water at night now, they say. People who want, some of you are getting facelifts and stuff. That's like when you think of risks in life to take, I think the biggest risk is people who choose to have surgery to their face. I'm just going to say this right now. Lip surgery, face surgery. I can't think of a more risky surgery to have. Now, some are like, I'm not talking heart surgery because you don't just get to choose to have that. You're doing it because you got an issue. But where you have that surgery and you just decide, you know what, maybe I want some filler or whatever. Like, man, look at the faces on some of these people. I'm not sold that, well, I know it's not an upgrade in some cases, con man. And so I've been reading on, they have some people talk about, well, hey, wash your face with ice and it'll keep your skin tighter. Not going to change the look of your face very much. But because you see some of them, man, and you're kind of like, what happened? Like there's a few people that are, public figures that you watch them and say like, look at them. It's very, I wonder if they have a little bit of regret afterwards. I don't know, because like I'd love to have like an interview to see, okay, this is why I'm doing this. Do you honestly think you look better afterwards? Because like you're right, your skin might not have wrinkles, but you also can't even smile. I'm not sure. Where do you come out on it, Cons?
I think I'm with you. I'm pro their body, their choice. They can do whatever they want. But, if you're asking me to speculate, I've seen some of those videos from the clinics and they'll go person to person and say how many times they've had the Botox or whatever it might be. And they'll say their age. And sometimes they look a lot older than their age would make you think they should look. So I don't think I would do it. I know some people who have done it for migraines. They got the Botox injections. Or so they say, and it is health. But yeah, I'm with you. The lip stuff,
I've seen some
anything in
people
your
for
face,
that. Yeah, they just get it a little
sure.
bit up in your kind of like up in the high hairline. If you
neck too. I think kind of all around. But
yeah,
I wouldn't be doing it. I'll just age as gracefully as possible.
Hey guys, Nugent-Hopkins was fantastic up until he broke his wrist. People should underestimate his contributions when they're winning. Rob, you know what, Rob? I think you're right. I thought Nugent-Hopkins was solid last year. He's not paid like a great player. He's actually a really good value contract on a team. So to say he's the most overrated player, I think that's bogus, to be honest. I don't think people really overrate Nugent-Hopkins. Some people he's a very likable person, right? Like he never really gets into trouble. You never see Nugent-Hopkins doing anything wrong, right? He's got the boyish face. He always looks innocent and nice. Right? He's polite to everybody. So I can see why Nugent-Hopkins, it's kind of funny. People, I don't like Nuge. Why? Well, geez, he's not McDavid. Well, yeah, he's not paid like McDavid. He was never highly touted as McDavid. Just because they're both first picks, that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to the conversation. McDavid's like a generational top 5 player of all time. Of course, Nugent-Hopkins isn't him. Draisaitl's won. He scored 50 goals 4 times. He's won a Hart. He's won an Art Ross. He's not McDavid, and he's damn good. So yeah, of course, Nugent-Hopkins isn't. But yeah, I don't buy that he's overrated. Maybe you don't like it because lots of people like him. That's okay. He's a very likable guy. But he doesn't dominate in anything, but he does a lot of little things very well. So, quick break. When we return, we have Steve Gardner joining us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you an elite athlete or weekend warrior and you just want to enjoy playing the sport you love with less or even no pain? Have you tried every exercise and stretch imaginable, hoping the next one might do the trick? Well, you tried analog. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe healing can move along better and sometimes even faster with evidence-based technology techniques and the people who know how and when to apply it. StimPod, zero-gravity treadmills, radial shockwave, and so much more at your fingertips when you click to find us at leadingedgephysio.com.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Hey everybody, it's Team Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Oodle Noodle Origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:29. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. Great day today after yesterday. A little bit of rain. Now it's sunny. I know many of you golfers, you're just like, what, I can't golf for one day? Well, now you get back out there where you go biking all over. It's just the fresh air today. Everything was just great. Real good. And you know what was really good? That Jays-Cubbies game, man, there was some great defense in that game. There was some outstanding. I thought all the pitching was great. Then you got, some home runs. That was a heck of a ball game. Low scoring, but highly, highly entertaining. The Jays end up winning on a 2-run shot from Vladdy Guerrero. Their bullpen comes in a little bit of trouble. No outs, runners second and third in the 8th inning, and Lilla gets 2 strikeouts, and then Rodriguez comes in. He gets a strikeout. Then Hoffman comes in the 9th, and that gives up a little soft single up the middle, but other than that, no harm done. And the Jays win another series as we go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, where if you want to take action on your savings, you're thinking solar, don't wait any longer. Get it now. You're missing out on the savings that you can get solar on your home or on your commercial building. ActionElectrical.net. They can walk you through all the steps and get you the grants and everything that help you save some money. As Steve Gardner from USA Today joins us talking some MLB. Steve, how you doing?
Doing good, Jason. How are you?
Hey, I'm excellent, man. It's there's been some great baseball lately. I want to start though with the the story of the year, or definitely lately since late May. And the Milwaukee Brewers, who are absolutely on fire. They've won 12 in a row here. They lit up Skeens, for goodness sakes, and put up double-digit runs on the Pirates a few days ago. They've won 11 consecutive, 2 different times in a season, which rarely happens in MLB. And to add to it, they're a bottom 10 team in payroll. They're not buying their way or spending huge money here. They're just building a team that wins. What do you make of the Brew Crew?
I think it's a great story, and you've got to love everything that you listed about them. They're the underdog in a sport that people or a lot of people, a lot of critics say, is ruled by the teams that can spend the most money. And the Brewers are proving at least there's one team, that doesn't have to outspend everybody to be really, really good. And the trades that they make, but the guy that's really spurring them right now, one of them at least, is Andrew Vaughn, who they picked up, off the Chicago White Sox that the White Sox didn't even want. So, I mean, that's how, you've got to have some of those breaks, and the Brewers are making their own, and they have the best record in baseball.
Are both New York teams in trouble? The Mets and the Mets have the fewest inning pitched from their starters. I think it is for the last 4 months by a significant amount here. Like they just can't get their starters to go deep at all.
Yeah, was it 12 out of 14 losses in a row? And then last night they were up 6-0 on the Braves and ended up losing 11-6. So yeah, the Mets, it's really tough for them now. The problem though, even despite all of this, the Mets and the Yankees both still in playoff position. So there's an opportunity to salvage the season for them completely. We saw what happened. The Yankees kind of limped into the playoffs last year, Mets as well, and both ended up going to the League Championship Series. So there's still hope for them. But if you're a fan of the Mets or a fan of the Yankees, it's enough to make you pull your hair out more than once. And it's terribly frustrating because we've seen them play better. They have played better all, to this point in the season. We've seen glimpses of what they can do when things work everything together. But right now, none of that's happening.
Steve, the Yankees or the Mets, if you had to pick, and you look at the race, the Yankees they're one game up on Cleveland, and they're right there. They're not far behind the Red Sox at all, but they're a game up on Cleveland for the final wild card spot right now, and the Reds are one game back of the Mets for the final wild card spot. Which team would you be more concerned with missing the playoffs?
I think the Yankees probably, just because that American League East division, as we get toward the end of the regular season and teams tend to play their division opponents more, you're going to have to face, if you're the Yankees, you're going to have to face the Blue Jays, you're going to have to face the Red Sox, the Rays. That's a tough road. In the National League East, the Mets still have to contend with the Phillies, but otherwise the Braves are down, the Nationals are down. So yeah, I think right now the Yankees, they have issues with starting pitching. Their ace, Max Fried, in the first half is nowhere close to what he was. And because of the problems with the starting pitching, they can't get any depth, putting more pressure on the bullpen. The guys that they picked up to bolster that bullpen at the trade deadline seem to be faltering and not giving them anything. And, it's basically Aaron Judge and who on the offense. So, yeah, I think the Yankees are maybe in more trouble than even the Mets, who I think can right things with, Juan Soto and Pete Alonso and all of that. I think the Mets are better positioned to kind of right the ship here in the last month and a half.
Yeah, the one thing about the Yankees, their final 10 games of the year against the Orioles and the White Sox, 7 games against the Orioles. But now the Orioles record right now doesn't look great, but that's because they had such an awful start. Their last 40 games, they've been way better than what their overall record states. And so it is interesting. It's kind of funny when, you look at New York and both teams, like the Mets obviously spent huge on Juan Soto, and, that necessarily hasn't worked. One team, and I know the contract hasn't kicked in yet, but Vladdy Guerrero and his contract, and really just the Jays overall, like Guerrero's been absolutely shredding it since the All-Star break. Once again, he shows he's a better second half player than he is in the first half. Why? I'll never figure it out, but he is. When you look at the Jays, though, like Max Scherzer, that's 5-6 really good starts in a row for the 41-year-old.
Yeah, I think that's the key for the Blue Jays to go deep into October. The starting rotation has been fairly solid. You can't say that anybody's a Cy Young candidate, but if you add Scherzer pitching the way that he has to Barrios and Gossman and Bassett, guys will generally go out and give you 5-6 solid innings to start the game. And, maybe the wild card in all of this is Shane Bieber. Does he come back and join that rotation? And if so, then you've really got one that may be one of the better ones in the American League, maybe in all of baseball. So, yeah, Scherzer's been outstanding, and that's been the secret of the Jays all season long. Yes, Vladdy's having a 6-win season so far, but nobody else has really even approached what he's done and contributed in that statistical fashion. It's been role players, it's been everybody contributing, and it's a lot of times it's a different hero every night, and that's kind of what makes a year special when you can get that on a nightly basis throughout the year.
Yeah, well, when Dalton Varsho's hitting 12 home runs in 33 games,
yeah,
that's like a 60 home run pace of the full season. Like, obviously, he's not going to maintain it, but in the few games he's played, man, he's been giving them a huge pop, because the Jays, they don't beat you with the long ball by anybody individually. They just beat you by they kind of play small ball. Same with the Brewers.
Yeah, indeed, and it's not one of those overdogs. Everybody talking about the Dodgers and the Yankees before the season started. You could not predict that the Jays would have the Nathan Lucases, the Addison Bargers,
Yes.
and guys like that come in, Ernie Clement, and be as valuable as they have all season long, and they've just been getting contributions from everybody.
Yeah, it's been impressive. Steve Gardner, looking at Steve, the Boston Red Sox, and they obviously had a really slow start, but they picked up things. They went on a real good run there. They got themselves in second place in the division. They're currently in a wild card spot. Was this just inevitable, or is their early season funk still a concern at all for you?
I don't know. I mean, coming into the season, the Red Sox felt like a team on the rise that was going to bounce back from a bad year last year. The young players that they had coming up through the minor leagues were all very talented. And I think we've kind of seen a breakthrough from Roman Anthony. And he's given them not only, a spark in the second half, but once they traded Rafael Devers, it gave Anthony a chance to play every day, and he's just blossomed. And now that whole roster is coming together. They don't have to worry about, finding spots for people and shuffling the defense around and who's going to DH every day. It's a better team. It's a more comfortable team, and you don't really see it very often. But it seems like the Devers trade was addition by subtraction because of the way that it kind of sparked this Red Sox team. So now when you've got Garrett Crochet going out to the mound, I still think behind him in the rotation, they're a little bit shaky. But this team has just been playing so well and so together. It looks like this team is going to be, in strong position to go into the playoffs and into, maybe deep in October.
Yeah. Looking at it right now, if you had to pick, who would you pick today to be in the World Series?
I'll tell you what, I'm really liking what Seattle is doing. And now they're not in first place, but they're just a game behind the Astros. They're battling back and forth there. I think obviously it's going to be a wide open American League. There's no dominant team. There's no super team. But I really like, Seattle went out, got Eugenio Suarez. Cal Raleigh has had an MVP caliber season, and the pitching has always been good. It's been the hitting that's been the problem for Seattle. So I just have this feeling that the Mariners might make it to, somewhere where the franchise has never been in their entire history, making it to the World Series. So I'll throw them out there. And now with the Padres taking over first in the West from the Dodgers, that's kind of thrown all of the preseason thoughts into turned it upside down. I think the Brewers obviously have been great. Can they keep it up? That's a question. I still think the Dodgers are going to be in it when it's all said and done, just because they're getting their starting pitchers back. That rotation is going to be, a force to be reckoned with, I think, as we get into September and October, and the offense maybe hasn't even kicked it in, and they have Shohei Ohtani. So I would not be surprised to see a West Coast World Series between the Mariners and the Dodgers.
Mariners and the Dodgers. All right, we shall see. Steve, great stuff, man. Enjoy the stretch run of the season. We'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds great. Thanks so much.
That's Steve Gardner from talking MLB, of course, for USA Today. Dodgers and Seattle. Ooh, a lot of Seattle fans were loving that prediction. Could you imagine the Brewers and the Jays? That would be. I would love to go back to the start of the year and see what Play Alberta had for those two teams being in the World Series together. That'd have to be some of the longest odds out there. I don't think anybody thought either one would even be a contender. And then right now they got the two best records in baseball. Fantastic. When we return, lots to discuss as we speed things up here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Head on the rocks, the party never stops. Check it out. Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Chat Brab and 118th. Head on the rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tune.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Chat Brab and 118th.
McDonald's summer drink days are here. Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's summer drink days. Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Ah, summer. The sun's out, the road's calling, and your car said, nope. Don't let your summer road trip turn into a roadside nap. Swing by Napa Auto Parts. Napa has the trusted tools, smarts, and quality parts for all your automotive needs this summer. Get your vehicle ready for the road and just in time for your kids to start testing your patience and sanity.
Are we there yet?
With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Are you relying on credit cards to make ends meet? Are you making just the minimum payment and carrying a balance month after month? It's time to break free from the debt spiral and take control of your finances. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. During a free consultation, I can explain all your debt relief options and stop your credit card bills from piling up. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles. Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on a lovely Thursday afternoon. It's the Jason Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50 or Summer 100. Summer 100 will make a $20 deposit and get $100 to play the casino, or just use Gregor50 and you get a $50 free play at PlayAlberta.ca when you sign up, or the start of every new month. So if you haven't used your August one yet, check it out today at PlayAlberta.ca. Time now to speed things up as we get to the racing report, brought to you by Can Torque. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Well, it's pretty simple. Buy Canadian. Can Torque's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantorque.com. It's Colin Livingston joins us once again in studio. CL, how you doing?
Man, I'm okay. How are you doing?
Oof, pretty good. A few days left. I'm going on some holidays, so it's always nice just trying to mail it in. You know how it is.
Weren't you on holiday last week?
Yeah, well, that was like a preview. It was like a test for a day or two. But actual holidays where you go away and kind of relax and enjoy it, do some things that you haven't done all summer. So
nice.
A little bit of golfing and lots of bike riding, and then I'm gonna go to a Jays game, which I haven't been to, and I've never been to the new stadium, so it's a long time since I've been to a Jays game.
I've only seen the Jays once. We saw them down in Seattle a bunch of years ago. We were actually drag racing down there, and there's there's
a ton of Jays fans when you're there.
It was. I mean, I didn't really know how to behave. Like we were sitting in the upper nosebleeds, screaming our heads off, and people were like, guys, shut up. They can't hear you. It's like, we're having the time of our life, and the Jays won. We almost needed a police escort to get out of the building there. That was the. Are they still playing in the Kingdom?
No, not in the Kingdom. No,
yeah.
They're outside. They got a great stadium there in Seattle.
My first 3 baseball games, nothing to do with racing, were in dome stadiums. I saw the Expos in Atlanta and Montreal, Houston, Cincinnati in the Astrodome, and then the Jays. I finally saw
fair weather fan, eh?
Just happened to be where I was. But Parker and I went to a ball game in San Diego a bunch of years ago when we were down there for a cheer competition and got to see them in an open air stadium, which was pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to going to Toronto, going to Niagara Falls for the first time. My son's fired up. He wants to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame. So check it out. Lots of interactive stuff.
We need to stretch it out because we'll be racing in Toronto in just under 2 weeks.
Oh, nice. Well, there you go. Let's speaking of racing, let's start with IndyCar. And I know Paolo's got the championship wrapped up. It's been
done.
It's unreal what he's done. But they actually made it through turn 1 on lap 1 without any issues, which is very rare. Like IndyCar, as competitive as it is, like this, if you like carnage, you should always watch the first lap of IndyCar
at Portland for sure. Portland, because it's this Portland racetrack shares the front straightaway with a drag strip, similar to what they do in Sonoma. But at Sonoma, the first corner is somewhat gentle sweeping, going up a hill, so you get a little bit of help with the deceleration. At Portland, it's a hard hooking right that sets up to a left. So you get these guys running 3 wide into a corner that barely is wide enough for one car. And it always turns into a mess, except this year they actually made it through. But what was the stat I saw? 73% chance of a caution in the first 3 laps. And it happened just before they started lap 3.
And Will Power living up to his name, getting the win.
Willie P, the talk has been all year that this is his last year with Penske. They've got David Malukas under contract, driving with one of the feeder teams, and they're trying to make room for him. But what doesn't make any sense, now Will is definitely oldest out of the 3 Penske drivers, between him, Joseph Newgarden, and Scott McLaughlin.
But he's the most successful.
He's the only one with a win this year. He's 6th in points. McLaughlin is like 11th or 12th. Joseph Newgarden's like 16th or 18th or something. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes. It seems like it's almost a fait accompli that Will's going to be cut from the team. My personal opinion is they're cutting the wrong driver. They need to get rid of Newgarden. I think he's been very, very disruptive to the team, especially behind the scenes. But Mr. Penske's going to do what Mr. Penske's going to do.
So where do you think Will Power will go then?
There's a lot of rumor. I don't want to comment on that because by definition, Will is not allowed to start talking to other teams until September 1st. So, if there's any merit to the rumors that are out there, it means that he's been, maybe engaging in some communication outside of his contract, which,
well, that's got to be expected if you think you're moving, right? Like somebody talks to you. Well, I'm not talking to you directly, but a friend of a friend of a friend gets to talk to you. Where do you think you go then?
Any team on the grid would be lucky to have him. He will make any of those teams better.
Okay.
He's the number one qualifier of all time. He's one of the number one race winner. He's not, but he's up there. He's, definitely the second best current driver, the second most wins. Will's fiery, and that kind of personality can get perceived as being difficult, but he's got awesome feedback from the car. He's really good at helping everybody else set things up. And again, any team, like I think McLaren stores are pretty much closed, but almost every other team, maybe minus Andretti, would probably make room for him.
Okay. Switching over to NASCAR Canada, the big race at Trois-Rivières.
Yep.
You were out there. How was it?
It's awesome as always. Couple of big notes. We were running 3 series. Not too surprising because Alex likes to stay busy, but one of the things we've been working on, again, one of these behind the scenes kind of things that I've been an advocate for amongst our spotting brethren, is a better location for us to actually do our job, because up until this year we've been relegated to pit road, which there's a dozen reasons why that is not a good idea. But the number, aside from the fact that we can't communicate with the driver because our radios don't work at ground level, that we can't see any of the race, which is kind of an important part of being a spotter. NASCAR already has officials on pit road to talk to the crew chiefs. Generally, what we do is we get corralled into an area. We have our NASCAR official, Ken. When NASCAR needs us to do something, he comes and talks to me. Then I talk to the driver. This year, thanks to a lot of hard work by the promoter, a guy named Dominic Fougere, the entire GP3R staff, and our friends at NASCAR, we actually got a spotter stand built above the Villeneuve grandstand at turn 10. We could actually see, I'm going to say, about 35-40% of the track. Our radios worked 85% of the track, so we could actually stay in touch with our driver for a change.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the biggest thing. I mean, it's still, there were still a number of teams that didn't listen to NASCAR's instruction. There were still a bunch of guys that were kind of being goofs on the track, but made life a whole lot better. We had more issue in our SBC car. I feel like just absolutely heartbroken for our friend Jacques Ravel. He puts everything he's got into this car, and the last 2 races when we were out in Halifax and last weekend, we've had the engine fail before we got to qualify. So I'm not too sure what the game plan is with him. We've got to get that figured out because we're supposed to be racing again next weekend in Calabogie. The same weekend we're racing NASCAR at ICAR, which is going to be busy if we get them lined up, driving back and forth between Ottawa, Montreal, Ottawa in the same weekend, but we'll make it work. Our Radical car was great. We had a small issue in the race where we had a flat tire and some downshift issues, but Alex put 2 second place finishes together. The car that won, and I don't remember the kid's name. He drove like he's been doing it his whole life. He's a young kid. He had Alex Tagliani. Alex, man, he's raced everywhere. He's done everything. So Alex isn't going to buckle under the pressure of that. But the kid in front was like, he's been racing for 50 years. He just didn't ever make a mistake. Really nice kid at the end of it. Talked a bit with Ron Fellows. Ron spots for his kid, Sam. This Radical driver started racing at Mosport. So he's seen him. He knows the kid really well. And he had glowing things to say. So, it's one thing to be a really good driver, but if you're an asshole, it kind of takes it all away. But he's a really nice kid, was really respectful. So it's good to see good things happen like that.
Are there any young Canadian kind of like hotshot drivers coming up right now? Like I know it's an expensive sport for sure, and It's not always necessarily the best driver who gets promoted. Money plays a big factor in it when you want to get to the higher levels. But is there a young or two Canadian out there that you feel that whether it's a NASCAR open wheel racing that has a chance to go somewhere?
There's a pile of them. I won't mention any of them by name because I think it'd be really unfair, because it's not that money plays a major part. Money plays the entire part nowadays. If you don't have it, it doesn't matter. We could have the next Jacques Villeneuve, who's, a 1997 Formula One champion. We could have that caliber of driver. And if you don't have the bankroll to move into, IndyCar, or if you're not already over in the European Formula Series, we'll never know about you. There's a number of kids who, even in go-karts right now, just have the ability to dominate. Whether they find the resources or not is another thing. And unfortunately, that's what it comes down to these days. But then, with our NASCAR side of things, the car's been really good. We've got our new crew chief, who is a very, very familiar name to people who followed NASCAR Canada back to the CASCAR days. Don Thompson Jr., 7 consecutive championships. I knew he won a bunch. I didn't know it was that many. So he's been wrenching for us. He's got the car working really, really well. We qualified third, took the lead, I think, on lap 2, made a great move on Cameron. And then just after the first pit stop, one of our oil lines failed. Now, oil lines can fail. Generally, they become unscrewed, or, at the crimp, our oil line split down the middle, which I don't know how an oil line can fail in that way, but cost us a bunch of laps. The guys were great about it.
How do you fix that?
You have to replace it. You have to pull the oil line off, put a new one on, top the oil off.
How long does it take you to change an oil line?
9 laps under caution. It took a while. First of all,
I would think so. Yeah,
we had to find one. So Donnie,
you're probably not carrying. No, you're not just walking around with a lot of extra oil.
No, he had to run all the way through. And Don is not the model of fitness. He was a longtime smoker. Had to run all the way down pit road, find one in a hauler. He got about halfway back, and then our guy.
It's like Kramer when he's doing the race at the ribbon, right? He's coming around the corner.
But that's also because the Karate Kids kicked the hell out of him. It wasn't because he was too tired. But our guy Fritz met Donnie halfway, ran it the rest of the way back. The guys got it changed. 9 laps down. We ended up finishing 4 laps down thanks to the lucky dog. Went from, I think we rejoined the race in 26th and clawed back to 20th. So hopefully next weekend, when we're back in Montreal at ICAR, we can just keep the car running and see what happens at the end of the race, because we've been competitive at Mosport. We were competitive 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago at Calabogie. The setup kind of went away. We knew that we were going to have issues with that, with the abrasion of the track, but that's racing. And, right now I want to think we got our bad luck out of the way, and we can actually just maybe get a lucky bounce for a change.
We're kind of, we're not kind of, we are in the midst of basically a 4-week break in F1, right? Yeah. You had the Hungarian Grand Prix on the 3rd of August, and we don't have another one until the Dutch Grand Prix on the 31st. But it's not like you have to it's not the mandatory break, right? So the teams are able to work on stuff in this 4 weeks, are they not?
No, they've got to.
So this is like a second break of the year where you can't do anything?
So the first break wasn't the summer break. They took 3 weeks between races, which is a little
I thought that was the summer break.
No, this is the summer break where they've got to have a mandated 2 weeks where they don't do anything, like the factory is dark kind of thing, aside from like IT people, maybe marketing people. But the thing that I don't understand, IndyCar knows that this is happening right now. Why they don't schedule more races to try and capitalize on fans who want to see some kind of racing. Because even if you think, okay, Formula One is the pinnacle of racing as far as money goes, 100%, but IndyCar is still better racing overall. Even in a year like this where Palou just absolutely dominated, there's still great battles on the track, and you never really know who's going to win. You never really know what the top 3 is going to be. Why not showcase that when these guys are giving you 4 weeks?
Yes, I totally agree with you.
Run 4 weeks in a row, 2 ovals, 2 road courses, and just put your product in front of the rest of the world, because IndyCar is really the next closest thing to F1.
Yeah, no, it makes,
So
makes
I
perfect
don't
sense.
know, but there's a reason why Penske Entertainment Group doesn't hire me to make the schedule. But I think if I was, that would be my stroke of the pencil for sure.
All right. Colin, great stuff, buddy. Con Man will be running you through things next Thursday. So we'll talk to you in a bit.
Always enjoy my time with Connor.
There you go. That's the Race Report brought to you by Can Torque. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by 01 Hockeyology. Continue to build your game. Get ready for the upcoming season. You got shooting specific sessions. You got skating specific sessions. You got hockey IQ and more. 01.ca. Sign up today.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays done their game already this afternoon. They were victorious, knocking off the Cubbies 2-1. They'll be off tomorrow. They take on the Texas Rangers. Actually, that gets going tomorrow. Currently, you got the Orioles on top of the Mariners 5-3. That's in the top of the ninth. Later today, Guardians up against the Marlins. Phillies in Washington. Mets take on the Braves. Tigers in Minnesota, and the Rockies hosting the Diamondbacks. Tomorrow, semifinal action at the Hilling Gretzky Tournament. Canada will take on the United States at 11 a.m., along with the Finns taking on Sweden in the other semifinal. Playoff action in the CEBL tonight. Stingers down in Calgary taking on the Surge. Tip-off at 7:30. They'll also Scarborough hosting Montreal at 5 o'clock. And Week 11 in the CFL kicks off with the Bombers taking on the Red Blacks at 6:30. BMW Championship Round 1 action right now. Scotty Scheffler atop the leaderboard at 4 under par. A handful of players at 3 under par. When it comes to Canadians, Taylor Pendrith the top spot. Even Nick Taylor 2 over, and Corey Connors is 4 over par. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by former NHLer Terry Ryan. We'll talk Seattle Seahawks with Bob Condota and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440. Stingray Radio Station. CKJR. Broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Work never gets done by standing around. You have to put your words into action. And that's exactly what GS Construction does every single day. Our priorities are safety first, quality second, efficiency third. GS Construction works hard. It's true. But first comes the care, the planning, and the people. Underground infrastructure isn't just about machines and trenches and some traffic inconveniences. It's about doing things right. Find out more on what we do. Visit gsconstruction.ca.
Reports suggest the Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie
Sports
experts
1440,
everywhere
Sports
are recommending a watermelon wake up from Booster
1440
Juice.
dots.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious.
Gregor Show,
Enjoy
presented by
the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies
Jason
available
Gregor,
all
Connor
summer
Halley.
long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool,
Play
Canada.
Alberta.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Thursday.
How's your summer so far? Are you zipping around in your new truck from Wolf GMC Buick? If not, you should be. GMC employee pricing continues through August on our entire 2025 GMC Sierras, including the Sierra HD lineup. But just August. Who knows what September brings? Costco members save an additional $1,200 on our 2025 Buick lineup and all our new GMC Terrain. We're here for a good time, not forever. Buy the new reliable vehicle and treat yourself. Employee pricing, 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP day today. Win $10,000 with a hole-in-one, plus great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge, open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
If you're an experienced RV salesperson, you have to be concerned about the state of the industry
my time with
now.
Connor.
With so much uncertainty, companies are downsizing their sales teams, especially at new RV stores. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. Nobody knows what the future holds. But here at Noble RV, we're hiring. And we're looking for a very particular kind of RV salesperson. Of course, experience with used RVs is always an asset here.
This role requires a good sense of what the used RV owner needs, how to help them solve problems, and enjoy more of the great outdoors.
You got it, Bob. It's technically a sales position, but with none of the rat race you deal with now. You'd be more of a problem solver, helping RV owners with their ongoing experience. Someone with a few miles on the odometer is the ideal candidate. If you're ready for an exciting new career at Alberta's biggest used RV store, come find me, because there's a future for you here with us.
And that's NobleRV.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
McDonald's summer drink days are here. Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's summer drink days. Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Never fight.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Papa John's. At Papa John's, you can get a large one-topping pizza for just $14.99. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through, and we're just literally speeding through the show already. Halfway done. We got a lot of texts flying in, 833-401-1440. Some of you are like, what? How can anyone rip on the Nuge? So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We had some tiering for defense teams across the NHL. Good conversation with Travis Yost. If you missed that, I recommend checking out at jasongregor.com. Or later on after the show when the podcasts are out anywhere where you get your podcast. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. It's welcome in our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League. Great opportunity to develop and further the skills of young girls in 12U, 14U, and now new division in 16U. As the PWHL expands, so does the Female Super League.com. As Terry Ryan joins us, of course, former first-round draft pick in the Newfoundland Hall of Fame. Also starring in Shoresy as Hitch. Learning a new language. TR joins us. TR, how you doing?
Oh, I'm not bad. I guess I could be better, but the wildfires around St. John's are pretty much taken care of. They're contained, but in Central, it's not so much. So just crossing my fingers for the people in Central Newfoundland and Carbonear, really, and the Avalon Peninsula that's happening, but just not around St. John's anymore. But, I'm doing as good as I could be. Just went to watch some Canada games all day. It's a really exciting time in St. John's. There's a lot going on, and people are coming out to support it. Every event has got either sold out or close to that I've been to. So it's a great time.
Well, here in Alberta, unfortunately, people in Fort McMurray, some devastating fires that they've had, and we've had other fires, lots of different fires at different times. So I know Albertans can empathize with it. I've been watching some of the news stories there in Newfoundland, and it's pretty scary how much damage has already been done. And they're worried about potentially it spreading around. We're lucky this year; it's kind of been wet, but it seems in central Canada, Manitoba had a stretch, and now you guys on the far east coast are having it. So hopefully. They're able to get under control, man. Those firefighters have it tough anyway, but you can get those fighting those fires, man. That's a different level.
Totally is. And I give them, like, hats off to them and all the respect. And the people in Newfoundland here, we're really coming together to do what we can. And just a note, because I see a lot of things on like Facebook and, and I don't normally pay attention, but when there's crisis and you want to help people and you go on and however you can, whether that's lodging or whatever it might be, lending your house for one reason or another, or showing up maybe to an event, raising some money, whatever it might be. But you look, and a lot of people are outraged, and they're saying, oh, the people in Newfoundland are not allowed to fish. They can't even go out camping. Look, there's lots of people fishing. They're saying in the area that the water bombers are going in, obviously.
Yes.
We're not complaining. They start this big thing like it's political. It's not political, man.
Yes.
Our premier got on there and said, no one's complaining. Gave us some outlines. Yes, there's going to be fines and restrictions because there's out of control fires. But you're Newfoundland. If you're not in one of those areas, yes, there's fishing. No one here is complaining that we can't have campfires. It's a very stressful time for people and a dangerous time. And glass that's on the lawns are turning into hay, right? So there's things to look out for. Of course, ATVs give sparks, and we're all coming together. It's not really. I haven't talked to one person here that's upset at any of the rules that are happening while or specific restraints that people have to live with. I mean, we're all coming together. I just wanted to say that because things get out of control, and we're not looking at it as any level of politics. It's just we need some help, and people are coming together, and Canada's sending in some true. Even we had a couple of water bombers come in from Utah. For us, what we're seeing is people coming together. It's really not about politics.
Yeah, well, sadly, people always try to make that way. It's it's an embarrassing time, I think, for anybody who tries to make something political when you got people's, houses and livelihoods and everything like that under pressure. Like, just be a good person, like wake up. So appreciate that, TR. Looking at we've got a lot of things to get to. We're going to talk about the defense tiers and stuff, the orders, but I don't know if you got to see it or not, but the Jays, another big win matinee. You had Max Scherzer, the ageless wonder, had a hell of a performance today. And then, he got a big 2-run home run from Vladimir Guerrero, who's been absolutely killing it since the All-Star break. The Jays are showing no signs of slowing down. They win another series, this one against the Cubbies, who got a really good record, almost 70 wins themselves. And man, the Jays look legit. And are you surprised at how well Max Scherzer has pitched here his last 5-6 outings?
Okay, I'll tell you, I was really excited going in. I mean, I'm glad you told me, but I had the game saved. I went down and watched the Newfoundland soccer team play New Brunswick, so I didn't realize that yet. I didn't know they won today. I've been watching very closely, though. And Scherzer, the last few outings, and he might not have had the results that really speak to you as some dominant pitcher, but you're watching it, I'm watching it. He's got his stuff. I'm not surprised today that happened. I wasn't sure. I mean, dare I say it, that we can rely on the guy. And you get Bieber coming in. I mean, wow, the team's out in front, but now you've got some really intriguing, and the I forget the Savage.
Trey Savage, the youngster.
Yeah. I mean, right now this is dangerous because teams are already not worried about the bats or anything. That's going to even itself out. I don't think it's a fluke that these guys are where they are. At the beginning of the year, I was thinking, is Kirk going to keep this up? Can Springer possibly? Is Bichette going to keep? But pretty much they've been rather consistent. And Vladdy, I mean, they're going to need him. I never really worry about him. I know he signed that big contract, but Vladdy takes it with a grain of salt. He doesn't knock it out of the park every time like people were expecting, when he first came in, but very consistent. And, he's come through. Each guy that's in a position of leadership, to me, seems to have come through at one point or another. And I don't mean a game. For weeks at a time, they're carried by 2 or 3 new players, and some are rookies, some like a guy like Addison Barger. I mean, if you look at his stats, there's always potential there. I don't think anybody thought he would come in this year and you could rely on him, and I could name 10 guys like that. Guys like David Schneider are coming in now as bit players that might come in that are dangerous, man, and certain situations, you got these guys match up against these pitchers. I think they're in a great position, knock on wood, there's no injuries. But for me, I love Scherzer, obviously, a lot of people do. And I really wondered, but I really applaud them for taking that chance. The same thing with Bieber. You got to do something. And everybody was all over the Jays, especially when they went public with the Ohtani sweepstakes and the Juan Soto, right? And then it took a while to land Vladdy and people. So look, They went out and they got Scherzer. That's what they did. And, it was a gamble at first, and now it seems to be paying off. But, people that were all over the Jays. You can only do so many things, man, and they did it. And they got Shane Bieber coming in, who's lights out. I mean, you got a Cy Young winner that's not too far removed, and now looks pretty good, right? So these chances that you take, hey, it didn't work out so far with, what's his name? He's been hurt. All year. 40
Santander.
40 homers.
Santander.
Yeah, right? But, I understand why they did it, and who knows? He might come back. For me, it's probably a next year thing. But I just mean the Jays were in a position this year, much like the Raptors when they went out and they got Kawhi, and you say Jerry, I know he's gone now, but, that was a move that a lot of people criticized at the time, but you got to swing for the fence when you got that group around you, right? And they knew that they had that group, that nucleus. I think there's some surprises, more than not, which is great. But they did go out and they did get players that if they weren't playing well now, they would be taking a lot of heat. So let's give them some credit. The Jays management, I mean.
TR, I want to get to the Oilers, and wrote an article today about the Oilers' top 6 wingers. And there's no better opportunity in the NHL to be a top 6 winger to play in Edmonton, because McDavid and Draisaitl have led the NHL combined assists as centers with 458 the last 2 seasons. The next closest duo is 300. Like, it's a significant gap. And both of them dish the puck. The problem is, the Oilers haven't had great 5-on-5 production from a winger outside of Zach Hyman. Did you know? I know, you probably don't, but I didn't know until I looked it up. This past season, Nugent-Hopkins had twice as many goals away from McDavid and Draisaitl 5-on-5 than he had with them. I think he said it. He feels better as a center iceman. I would play Nugent-Hopkins at center, so I would have somebody else in the top 6. So I have Hyman as a lock as one of the top 6 wingers to play the most minutes this year. Then there's Podkolzin, there's Mangiapane, there's Ike Howard, there's Savoy, there's Trent Frederick, there's Adam Henrique, and then the ultimate wild card, David Tomasek, because he led the Swedish Elite League in points last year, led it in goals 2 years before that. Who do you think, if Hyman's won for sure, who do you think at the end of the year are going to be the other 3 wingers who play the most 5-on-5 minutes with Draisaitl and or McDavid?
Wow, that's a great question. I didn't think you mentioned the rookie, though. The rookie coming in.
Yeah, Howard and Savoy. Yeah, I have both of them in there.
Okay,
yeah.
you did mention them. Okay. So I think there's a good chance there. And I don't really know, because I didn't watch much of Howard before this. I'm not saying that Savoy can't break out. I mean, if you look at past stats and where they drafted him and what they expect of him. But Howard is, to me, a real wild card. And you get some guys Rob Brown is a good example. Edmonton fans. I know he's out there. I think on the Got Your Back podcast. So, but Rob Brown, right? I mean, he's a great player. He scored at every level, and I'm not sure at what point him or Kevin Stevens would be another one. These are great players. Okay, they put him with Lemieux, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But for those guys, it just brought out a little bit extra. And I'm not saying I hate when people say, "Oh, you only got those because he played with Lemieux." Not the case at all. You need a lot of gumption. You need patience. You need to be not nervous. You got to realize when you play with those guys that there's a time to pass it. You can't overpass it, which might be happening to Nugent-Hopkins. Who knows? I often when I played in any level with the best player or the one of the best, I'd often overpass it, overthink it. You got it's a sweet spot of the bat, man. And you got to find that. And for Rob Brown, it worked, and for Kevin Stevens, and because they were decent players in the past that maybe had the most success with Mario Lemieux, maybe. But the success wouldn't be possible if they couldn't put it in the puck right in the net first. And sometimes it's magic, man. And we don't really know. So I think Howard. I do. I mean, it's a phenomenal scorer. I'm only looking at stats, but I think there and. I don't know. After that, guys, I thought Podkolzin coming in last year. I expected a little bit more. I don't know about you, but like you said, sometimes it's squeezing the stick when you play with guys like that. So I don't really know, but that would probably be the players that I'm thinking about here right now.
Yeah, well, Podkolzin's an interesting one to me because
really
he's shown that he can be reliable defensively, no question. right? He's physical. He's very good on the forecheck. He gets the puck to Draisaitl a lot, which is obviously very important when you got a guy who's, got the most goals in the NHL the last few years. He's a pretty good goal scorer. So that happens. I do think Podkolzin, his work ethic, no one questions. His teammates talk about he's on the ice lots. He's in the gym lots. So they don't worry about the work ethic. But the fact they now have Connor Allen as their new skills coach, and they've got skill enhancement focused practices this year, I think there's a really good chance Podkolzin could jump up and be a 15 goal scorer 5-on-5 after having 8 goals last year, right? Like he did score 14 as a rookie. And if you can get 15 to 20 5-on-5, that's a really solid top 6 winger.
I totally agree, right? And first of all, he had to get some footing. The important part of this, when I'm thinking about Podkolzin and my head goes there, I thought he had a lot of potential. I looked and I thought he played a little bit better than his stats might have shown. But Leon Draisaitl, if I'm not mistaken, came out publicly and said he loved playing with him. And that is going to mean something. I could be wrong there, but I think at some point during the season, he really, really sang his praises. And that means a lot too, right? I mean, if the guy we're talking about, one of them, loves playing with somebody, and it might not have been for all the dishes. Maybe it was for the defensive play. I don't remember. But I remember him saying he was very impressed with Podkolzin. It was towards the beginning of last season.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to him. Like Ike Howard, though, TR, you were a rookie, right? Like jumping from junior, jumping from college, even now he's a little bit older. He's 21, so that'll help. But like I outlined it, like there's only 4 rookies in the NHL who scored 30 points playing on a playoff team. It's different being on a non-playoff team. You get every opportunity, right? And they're good players, don't get me wrong, but they get way more opportunities. You're on a playoff team, you're not going to get 20 minutes a night as a rookie. It just doesn't happen because you're a playoff team. You got really good players. And like Bull Duke played 12 minutes. Jackson Blake played 13. Samaskowicz in Florida, 13. Stan Colvin was the only rookie on a playoff team, and he played to play more than 15. He played 15:05. So when I look at Ike Howard, who's a rookie, and Matt Savoy, like realistically, 12, 13 minutes is probably, if they're going to be here, that's what they're going to play. Maybe 14.
Maybe, but I also think the Oilers, of all the teams, I'm trying to think of players that have come in that have made an impact on teams that either won the Stanley Cup or were going for it. I don't know. Brendan Morrow, Boyd Devereaux. I don't know. I'm thinking of players like around my age that I remember looking at with my own eyes coming up going, is he going to make it? And it took a while. But all of those teams already had, like, I think the Oilers are unique because they're actively searching, and they haven't found many perfect fits. Backheim and notwithstanding, they right. And there's been times that people look good for a shift or two, or maybe even a game or a week. But I don't remember any other teams that were so actively not actively, but everybody's actively in search of the cup. But we're so close to the 2 finals in a row. We're right there. They got to mean there's 52 teams in the league. You're there 2 years in a row. You've done something right. Game 7, you're right there. Game 6, you're right there. But there's a huge void in having a player play with those players, and maybe not more than one. You know what I mean? So I just think it's a unique situation. And of all those situations, I think that a guy like Ike Howard would be given a chance more so than he would 3 years ago on Tampa Bay or 8 years ago on Chicago or whatever it might be. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I think he's going to be getting every opportunity, whereas some guys come in and, they're just hoping to be on that 3rd, 4th line and crack it and go and work your way up.
TR, great stuff, buddy. We'll take a quick break, and we're going to talk some football and more when we return. It's the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Edmonton Elks Country Night is back Friday, August 15th against Toronto. Presented by Coconut Cowboy Rub, featuring the EE Bull Riding Competition, country music all night long, plus a petting zoo and pony rides for the kids. Tickets start at just $20 at GoElks.com.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
It's the Bricks Great Canadian Staycation Sale. Score hot summer savings like up to 20% off outdoor furniture and free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $4.99 or more. Save 60% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Plus, save up to 20% off dining and bedroom furniture. Get up to $400 off big screen TVs. And buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. The Brick, saving you more.
Photographers, start your cameras. It's time for Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest. Enter your hometown snapshot and show us what makes your community amazing. Whether it's a view from the farm, a stroll down Main Street, or a weekend at the rodeo, we're looking for snapshots that show off your rural Alberta hometown. Share your photo before September 2nd for a chance to win cash prizes or a donation to your favorite community group. Learn more via Vision's Facebook page or go to whatsyourshare.ca.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Jump on OTR's party shuttle buses to Elks games and concerts at Commonwealth. To see all upcoming bus events, visit ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.427, welcome back. Just flying through a Thursday afternoon. Hope your day is going as fast as ours is here. It's unreal. It's almost 4:30. Workday's almost over. Love it. Good for you. Let's get to our NFL report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. They are hiring. If you're looking for a fantastic place to work, get a hiring bonus. You'll get to RRSP matching. You get to tuition reimbursement and a fantastic wage for a company that, as much as they love work, they might love sports more. Apply today at legacyheating.ca. And we continue our NFL preview as we stop in Seattle. Lots of changes for the Seahawks. Bob Condotta, a longtime reporter for the Seahawks, joins us once again. Bob, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Good. Yeah. How you guys doing?
Excellent. So pretty big offseason of change here for the Seahawks. Kind of give me your first impressions of how things are looking with the, lots of new faces in some key positions.
Yeah, for sure. It is kind of weird looking out there and not seeing, we had Russell Wilson for obviously as long as we did, and then Geno Smith, and we did, at least it sort of eased into Geno because he had played a little bit previously before he became the starter. But yeah, seeing Sam Darnold out there, completely new quarterback, the receiving core quite a bit different with Cooper Kupp and Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Torrey Horton, three guys who weren't here last year. They're going to be three of the top four receivers, and tight end group's a little bit new as well. What's not is the defense. The defense is basically the exact same group that finished the 2024 season and did so pretty well. But on offense, for sure, anytime you have a new quarterback, it sort of feels new. So, it'll be there's an expectation that some of those guys will probably play tomorrow night against the Chiefs, and so it'll be fun for everybody to get their first look at them and get in at least somewhat of a game action.
You look at the Seahawks, and really from like 1999 until 2023, you had Holmgren as the head coach for a decade. You had Pete Carroll for 14 years, and Jim Mora had one kind of forgettable one season. I think he was 5-11, but Pete Carroll made the playoffs 10 out of 14 years, and they won the NFC West 5 different times, and Holmgren won it 4 times. Mike McDonald, there's, he had a 10-7 record. It wasn't a bad first year at all for him, but is there still a big shadow in Seattle when you consider that, really, for 24 years, you had 2 coaches that had a lot of success?
I guess it depends on your perspective. There's no question Carroll left behind an incredible legacy that will be hard to top. That said, I think people felt like it had kind of come to an end. The fact that he did coach for as long as he did, I think made the transition a little easier because those last couple of years, there had seemed to be some real cracks and things, especially on the defense, which was sort of his side of the ball. They haven't won a playoff game now in I'm blanking on how long, since 2019, since the 19 season, they haven't made it past the divisional round since the last time they went to the Super Bowl. So, while he obviously did an awful lot of good things, good coaches that they're probably ever going to have, I think people felt like this was probably the time to move on. So I think from that standpoint, I don't know if McDonald said has a shadow hanging over it, because I think most people were sort of, the general consensus was that it was kind of time. So, I think McDonald kind of stands alone a little bit. Someone was going to take over for Carroll, and in general, I think it was, it wasn't the perfect start last year. Obviously, that mid-season slump really kind of killed the season. But the way the season ended was winning 6 of the last 8. The way the defense, they really remade the defense, which was basically McDonald's doing. Those last 2 months, it became one of the better defenses in the NFL over that time. I think people are pretty, I think in general, people are pretty excited about where things are going, just with the unknown of how the quarterback situation is going to work out.
TR?
Elijah Arroyo, 2nd-round pick, tight end. How's he look so far at camp?
He looked good, yeah. He's looked good at what he's good at, which is catching the football and making big plays that way. The question with Arroyo and how many snaps he's going to get is going to be how quickly does he come along on run blocking, and that's really hard for us from our vantage point to tell in these settings when they don't they have some live practice or some full contact practices, but they never really do any live tackling and things like that. So it can be somewhat hard to assess that, but they feel like he's coming along at that. But that's everybody understands that's sort of the area of the game he's going to have to improve at a little bit to be on the field all the time. AJ Barner is clearly the number 1 tight end right now. So Arroyo's sort of fighting for the snaps behind him. And I think he'll definitely get some significant work. And again, if he can sort of show, he can kind of handle the run blocking part of it, then he'll maybe get even more, but they'll certainly try to get him in positions to take advantage of his pass catching ability for sure.
What do you think the ceiling would be for JSN at the receiver position?
To me, that's not a JSN question. It's a what can the offense do question, and what they're going to do offensively. They really threw it a ton last year, and so it may not be realistic to necessarily expect him to I think the obvious thought would be, well, now that DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are gone, he's going to do even more than he did. But he caught 100 passes last year. In a season when they threw the ball, on a higher percentage, more than all the 4 other teams in the league. They sort of want to be the other way now. They want to run the ball a lot, and that's they drafted Gray Zabel and brought in an offensive coordinator who likes to run it, and a defensive or an offensive line coach who has a real history of with the outside zone scheme and putting together good running games that way. So and then can these guys pass block enough for Sam Darnold? He's going to do things a little bit differently than Geno Smith did. So I think if he can match last year's numbers, I think that's a really good season for the Seahawks offense, because I think they're going to, with Cooper Kupp's going to want his targets as well, and Torrey Horton and everybody else. But I do think, they would like to bring that number of times they pass the ball. They'd like to bring that percentage down a little bit. And so, if JSN, I think if he puts up similar numbers to what he did last year, I think that'd be a good sign, because that probably means the offense as a whole is operating pretty well.
Bob Condotta joins us, breaking down the Seahawks. So with that running attack, I guess, what about Kenneth Walker, the foot? Is this just precautionary, or are there any concerns about that foot?
Well, anytime you're missing any kind of time, there's got to be at least some concern. But starting running backs don't ever play in the preseason. So, sure. Watch anybody. So nobody's putting their starting running back out to just get a bunch of punishment. So, Marshawn Lynch never took a snap in the preseason here, other than it was kind of a joke. They'd get him on the field for 1 or 2 plays and line him up out wide as a receiver and say, hey, Marshawn got snaps in the preseason. So, I don't read a ton into, I don't necessarily read a ton into that. On Tuesday, they went through a pretty, what was their last open practice, and it was full pads, and Walker was out there the whole time doing everything. So, he looked just fine then. I think they're just giving him some time off to just kind of manage that a little bit. Obviously, he only played the 11 games last year, and that played into why their running game struggled the way it did, because Walker was kind of battling through some things, even when he was out there. So, they want to get him fully healthy to week 1. So I think that's sort of the goal here. So, if there's no setbacks, I don't think there's any question he'll be out there and be the starter week 1. And they're trying to avoid setbacks by not giving him a lot of work right now. And, running backs, there's only so much to learn in an offense. It's, here's the ball, go find a hole and run through it, a lot of the time. So, typically those guys don't necessarily get a ton of work.
So with Walker, like, what about Charbonnet? Like, could he push him at all? Do you think, like, would this be a split?
It's not a split if Walker's healthy, but again, getting anybody through a 17-game season, I think, is harder than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's more what they're doing. And Walker, I think, can help them in some different ways. I think he's kind of a little bit different of a receiver, with his body type. And I think they feel like sometimes there's some things they can do with him in the passing game that they would like. So, he'll definitely be out there. He'll definitely get his share of carries. But, if Ken Walker's healthy, I think he's the best guy they've got. And, I don't think there's any thought that there's like a competition for the one. But again, their goal, which, I know fans, everything's fantasy, but, their goal is to have a running back every week that they can count on. And they've had trouble doing that the last few years. And especially, last year with Walker, with his injury situations, that's what they want to do, because they want to run the ball a lot more this year. And, so having two guys who can run it and trying to keep both of them healthy through a 17-game season, that's what they're looking to do, more than probably worrying about what the carry split is going to be.
What about on the defensive side of the ball? What do you see as the strength, and what do you see as the concern?
The strength should be the secondary. It's looked real good so far. And you've got, 4 pretty proven guys back there now with the way Kobe Bryant came on last year at safety. Devin Witherspoon and Rick Woolen could be one of the better corner duos in the NFL. You got Julian Love back there, who's a real steady player, kind of the leader of the whole thing. That part of the ball should be pretty strong. They don't have a ton of depth at any of those spots, and that's, they drafted Nick Emmanwori, and they're kind of working him in, but he's not really they list him as safety, but he's not really a safety. He's mostly playing, at the second level and up on the line, and they're kind of doing some exotic package stuff with him. The defensive line should be pretty good. With Leonard Williams coming off the year he had, they're hopeful Byron Murphy kind of just produces a lot more this year. I think they think he played okay last year, but obviously, if you just look at the raw numbers, I think they'd like to have more sacks and quarterback hits and things like that out of him this year. But if everything sort of goes to plan on the defensive line, I think they feel like that part should be pretty good. The one question would be the overall inside linebacking core. Ernest Jones is coming off the knee surgery. He's been limited at times in some stuff he's done in the off season. I think the anticipation is he'll get out on the field tomorrow, and so we'll kind of see him in game action for the first time since he had that. And then Tyrese Knight, their starting weak side linebacker, is out right now with both a knee issue and kind of an undisclosed medical issue. And it's a little bit unclear exactly what his ETA is for the season. So, and they don't have much experience depth at all behind those guys. So that would be the one real big question mark, is the inside linebacking core, and just sort of the overall depth of it there. If Jones and Knight are healthy and ready to go week 1, it should be a good duo. But if not, they might be depending on some guys that haven't played much, if at all, or they might be forced to go pick up a veteran there.
And one last one, when you consider the Rams question mark with the back of their quarterback, Mr. Stafford, which could really change everything. They had the exact same record last year as the Seahawks. They had both at 10-7, and the Seahawks actually had a better. They were plus in the points scored. Meanwhile, the Rams were a negative team. And do you see Seattle? Like, where do you see in this division? I know the 49ers have a pretty easy sked, but where do you see the Seahawks finishing this year?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to say yet, where they're going to finish, but that, like, as there's some questions about some of the teams out there that I think we need to see and wait till September 7th to kind of really get a sense of exactly who's where in some of these spots. But there's no reason the Seahawks can't contend for the NFC West this year, if that's kind of what you're asking. They were that close to it last year. That overtime win against the Rams at home changed everything. That kind of gave the Rams the upper hand from that point forward, and the Seahawks were kind of chasing them the rest of the way, and they ended up not being able to do that. The way the tiebreaker situation really worked against them. because they had lost that game. And that's what they need to not do this year. And that's why, week 1 against the 49ers is going to be as important of a game as they play. They need to get off. They also, if you recall, they lost to the 49ers when they played them the first time last year at home. And that game, they were kind of chasing that the rest of the year as well, just that they didn't get off. They kind of just lost some games there early in the season that really hurt them. And, some of that I think was just kind of adjusting to a new system on both sides of the ball. And, it took them a little while to figure things out. So they need to hit the ground running this year. If they can win that 49er game, if you look, their first 5 games, they could, there's none of those that are like games you necessarily say that there's no way the Seahawks can win them. I mean, they could easily start out, 4-1 or maybe even 5-0 if things really broke right. So, that's what they need to do this year is get off to a decent start like that. And, especially if Stafford can't play. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, last time we saw him, he threw for almost 400 yards against the Seahawks with nothing but the Rams backups playing in that game. So, I don't rule out that they could still maybe be a decent team there if they have to go that route. But yeah, there could be some things like that could help the Seahawks for sure.
Bob, thanks for the rundown, man. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the training or preseason.
Okay, thanks a lot. You guys.
There you go. That's Bob Condotta joining us from Seattle. The Seahawks had the exact same record last year. There's some new faces for sure. I'll be curious. Are they going to run the ball more? In theory, I get why. And then Sam Darnold, TR, he had an unreal year last year in Minnesota, totally different team, but he does have some, Cooper Kupp, although Cooper Kupp really hasn't done a lot the last few years, but Jackson Smith, Nigba, a lot of people are pretty high on him. Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, so they got a pretty good tandem at the running back position. I don't know what to make of Seattle. I'm kind of curious. I think that division, everybody knows the 49ers should be better. They also have the easiest schedule by far. So, we'll see. Well, based on last year's rosters, of course. So we'll see. But what do you make of Sam Darnold? I don't know if he's going to be top 5 in TDs and top 5 in yards like he was last year.
Yeah, I know. Like everybody else, man. Yeah, I just need a bigger sample size. And I put it this way, I'm thinking more positive than negative. Seattle is a mystery. They got a lot of potential there. You don't really know what's going to be. And I say it every year in the NFL, there's only so many games, right? What's it, 17 games?
Yeah.
So, you get teams and that word potential, whereas in hockey, it's great. And, potential, oh, yeah, by the 25 game mark, he really caught on. And then he had 65 points. But you don't really have that time. So I don't know what to think of it. I'm intrigued, but I'm not going to go as far as to say that they're going to come out of it, with head and shoulders into the playoffs. I mean, I think there's a lot of ifs, but I like Sam Darnold. So hopefully, I'd like to see them do well. I'm not the biggest Seahawks fan, but,
Quick break. We'll come back. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, Connor Halley with 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. The all-new redesigned 2026 XC90 is here. Test drive the ultimate evolution in luxury. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 from 0.49% and save $5,000. Finance or lease a 2026 XC40 from 2.99%. Come and discover the deals now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. The Midsummer Sales Event is on now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The 8th annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Some people wake up and get dressed for work in a suit and tie or a nice dress. At GS Construction, we're less fashion forward and more putting our best foot forward. We wear hard hats and steel-toe boots, and most importantly, we wear 50 years of experience with pride. It's not glamorous, it's definitely not easy, but it matters. We do it well. So if you'd like to be part of something where your work matters, GS Construction is hiring. Just remember, when you come for an interview, ditch the tie. See more at gsconstruction.ca.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's major public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m., featuring Tridem, Tandem, and single-axle trucks with cab and chassis, day cabs and tractors, digger derricks, hydrovacs, man lifts, pickers, and refuse compactors. Info at maauctions.com. Mitchell Allen Auctioneering's next major public unreserved industrial auctions are next Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. These major unreserved auction events include multiple auction lanes, selling a large selection of multipurpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
La 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 la.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
Hat-tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
448. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for watching those online and Oilers Nation YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Terry Ryan, of course, joins us along for the ride this hour. And the Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, the Daily Grand. Get your tickets tonight. A chance to win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. 7.3 million. Now, you can take a one-time lump sum payment if you want, or just go the enjoyment of $1,000 every day. I just think would be awesome. We'll see. You know, like you get the one big thing, that'd be great, but just every little day, maybe you read all those stories about too much too soon can be a problem. So $1,000 a day gives you pretty good security. You can plan it out and have a little fun at the same time. So check it out, playalberta.ca. Time now for 5 questions brought to you by The Brick, as you got a few more days. Actually, today's the final day of the Great Canadian Staycation Sale. Portable smart air conditioners starting at only $299. You can get fabric cream beds starting at just $299, or don't tell your kids. Go back to class with desks starting at just $99 right now at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, question number 1. Earlier on in the show, we discussed NHL defensive tiers with Travis Yost from TSN. So I want to ask you guys, in your humble opinion, which team has the worst blue line in the NHL going into the upcoming season?
Well, I'm hesitant to say worst because technically, I suppose, you got to look at teams like Chicago, like San Jose. But then I look down at San Jose, for example, who would be in the running given the goals against and how awful they've been for years. But they got so worst, I think, might be, and inexperience is not the word because they do have some experience. But like Leddy's old, Klingberg. Did the Oilers get all they could out of them? And maybe that's it. Who knows? But they got young players. They like Liljegren. He was in Toronto for so long, kind of bottled up. That Mukhamadullin guy. He's a Russian, and he hasn't played long. But we don't know. Like, he looks pretty good. So inexperience, I think, combined with, I guess in some cases, age and such a vulnerable forward group that maybe they get exposed a bit. So I'll go with San Jose, but I'm not sure to say worst. I'll say worst with the potential to really hit a home run in the next few years, especially with their other prospects surrounding them.
That's a good question. I will know his team like they might be the collective worst puck moving decor in LA. They don't have a lot of great puck movers in LA, but I can't say they're the worst core. I'm gonna go say the Flyers. I don't really like the Flyers defense.
All right, question number 2. We know the Elks and their hesitancy. I don't know if maybe it's something else, but lack of desire to run the ball with their running backs. Last week we saw them run the ball only 6 times with their backs. Still got the win. I wonder if it'll be more of an emphasis tomorrow when they take on the Argos. But if I had to set the number of carries from an Elks running back at 12.5, would you take the over or the under?
Now, is that for one or combined Leak and Rankin?
Combined.
Leak and Rankin combined, I'm going to say over.
Yeah, I'll go over as well.
All right. Question number 3 for you guys. Full disclosure, the plan was to talk Niners on the show today. We might do it tomorrow, but the question remains the same. If you're doing an NFL mock draft for fantasy purposes, where would you have Christian McCaffrey being selected after the injuries he went through last season?
Yeah, see, this is the same thing. We talked about the Jays and they're taking some chances on players that, and we still don't know if it worked out, but it's trending in the right direction for them. Of course, we're talking about a different sport, but I just see it very similarly. I know he's rated. They always have the NFL top 100, and I think he's rated like towards the bottom of it, but it's Christian McCaffrey, and everybody knows how dynamic he can be. You'd be nuts if you don't think about the injuries, but I think someone would have taken a chance. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say he'd go between 15 and 30.
Ooh, he's Christian McCaffrey. It's a good question. Where, like, if you're in a draft that has no keepers, so it's just full on everybody available, I think that's probably a fair choice, to be honest. If somebody has 1 or 2 keepers, then maybe I could see him, because now you're getting down and depending on where some of those keepers are. But McCaffrey is when injuries mount on a lot of guys, it's hard to overcome it as a running back. Now, the thing was, the year before, he had an unreal year. But look how many touches he had, Cons. You follow the touches. Like, LT was a freak, right? To go that many years and be able to get that many touches. So, yeah, I can't see how you would take him if we're talking a 12-team draft, no keepers. I think he's a 3rd-round pick.
All right. Question number 4 for you guys. Right now, we got the Little League World Series going on, Major League Baseball. So the question is, if you were having a theme song, your song to walk up to the bat, or even coming out of the bullpen, what song would you choose?
Well, they're very different, because if I'm coming up to the bat, I'm playing the motto for sure. But because you want something upbeat, you're kind of excited. But if you're coming out of the bullpen, like, man, you want something that's just like powerful, right? Like, it's, man, the guy who just got traded from Minnesota to Philly. Do you see his intro, man? It's unbelievable. Yeah. TR, like, I look at, like, it's fun, like, and it's the whole light show too with it. But God, like, Enter Sandman, it's always been used already, but that would be a tough one. God, there's I might go with Tiesto and Wow. Maybe I'll go with that.
Wow. Okay, coming up to the plate, it will be Raunchy by Bill Justice, 1957. Surf Garage Guitar Rock. And if it wasn't that, it'd be Green Onions, or it'd be Bustin' Surfboards or Rebel Rouser. I love those 60s charted hits, guitar, legends of the guitar, Bill Justice. Oh God, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Oh God. Anyway, I'm forgetting the names. But or the Torpedoes. There, boom, Bustin' Surfboard. Did it be something like that? But I always loved Bill Justice's Raunchy. Check it out when we and if it was coming into the game, a lot of I try to find some song that's a pump up song with maybe one of my nicknames or something that was personal. So I picked Bad to the Bone. A lot of people call me T-Bone. And right off the bat, just, that guitar right off the bat, George Thorogood, that's what I would want to play if I was coming into a game as a reliever.
I like that. Rebel Rousing, Green Onions. Good pick. And Green Onions from Sandlot. Classic. Question number 5 for you guys. Mila Kunis celebrates her 42nd birthday today. Of course, she starred in that 70s show years ago. In honor of that, what is your favorite TV show, either shot or set in the 70s?
Yeah, either shot or set. There's a lot to pick from. At the time I was growing up, it probably would have been, I know it would have been Happy Days and Three's Company. Three's Company was like maybe early 80s. It would have been one of those. I watched them a lot. And All in the Family would have been there. But now in retrospect, when I go back and watch, I haven't seen anything that comes close to MASH for me. I didn't realize it was as good as it was when it was on TV. I've since gone back and watched, and it's way more powerful. It's funny, yes, but there's a drama to it that I didn't know existed, so it would be MASH.
Now, isn't MASH technically the 60s? Cons, am I wrong on that? I'd have to look it up. I think it might be the 60s.
It was on the TV. It says set. It might have been set in the late 60s, but it was it came
set
on TV
or
in the
shot.
70s.
So
set
in the
or
70s.
shot.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see the shot bar. Okay. Man. Come on. It's the Fonzie, Arthur Fonzarelli. It's hard for me to beat that. I'm gonna go with Happy Days. Like there were so many funny lines in that show, like Potsy, Ralph Malph, like oh my goodness. So yeah, I'm going with Happy Days all day long. Now that 70s show was funny, but I liked Happy Days better. Cons, what about you?
Yeah.
Set in the I went back and I had to look at shows that were set in the 70s, and one stood out to me, the one that I have watched before, The Wonder Years. It was the late 60s and early 70s. So Wonder Years to me was always a classic. Love that show.
The other one, you know what? And I never watched it live, but I did watch it like years later, was Mad Men.
Mm-hmm.
I quite like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite like that show.
And I will correct myself. So I believe, that in MASH, it's the 50s. They're in the Korean War in the show, but it was set in the 70s.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, it was filmed in the 70s.
Yeah.
I just wanted to correct that because I know I'm going to get a ton of emails. But anyway, it's to do with the Korean War. But it's just the flavor of war and how people deal with it. And anyway, figured I'd elaborate a little bit and explain myself.
No, that's all good. Do you have like a favorite show of all time, TR? Like if you could just sit down and watch a show that you'd be like, I'd rewatch it again, start to finish, and enjoy it every time. Yeah,
I'm doing it. I don't ever stop watching Arrested Development. I just watch it straight through and then I start again at the beginning. And I'm still picking up stuff that I didn't see before. It's incredible wordplay. It's unbelievable. I think it's so well written. Almost every sentence, every movement is a joke. Or as some reference to something else.
Oh God. Like the Jason Bateman is very funny in that show. Will Arnett is oh my God, hilarious in that show.
It's cast perfectly. It's good wordplay and everything, and it's like always coming back to something. But if you take it's cast perfectly too. You're right. The deadpan of those guys it just works. I think it's brilliant. All kinds of other ones I really like. Curb Your Enthusiasm would be way up there. And of course, if I like those, I'm going to like Seinfeld. And we can keep going down the list. But to me, over and over, like a drama. I love The Wire. I love Sopranos, but it's going to take me a lot years have to go by before I revisit it. But anything that's got jokes in it to me is worth watching over and over. And Arrested Development, I'm still getting new jokes on the 10th run through.
Well, the great part of Arrested Development is the similarities between Tobias and Struds as the as Mr. Never Nude, because that is indeed Struddy. God, is it funny?
That's great. I never thought of this. I'm trying to put Struds into every Tobias scene right now.
Oh, buddy, seriously,
I love too the odd time, like Tobias when he blows him or blues himself when he blues himself.
Oh yes.
And but he'll touch like something completely irrelevant. Like he'll touch the wall, and then like 6 episodes later, they'll go by the same wall, and the blue paint's still there.
Yeah,
it's an ongoing circus of amusement. From the words to the settings to just everything that's good about TV. There you go.
There's so many funny parts in that show, and it's like offside humor, because now there's too many people that get so offended, or I think they fake that they're like, oh, this offends me. Great, it offends you. Basically, it offends my sense of humor that it offends you. But anyway, I love those type of shows that you just like. Even The Office, man, I can watch The Office multiple times, and I laugh every time. Like there's like how much Michael despises Toby. Like obviously, you couldn't get away with that in a workplace, but it's damn funny because there are people at work you despise. You just can't treat them that way. So that's what makes it funny and relatable at the same time.
Absolutely love it. Often that's a good bet just to roll the dice. Arrested Development, even when on a second viewing, third view, you got to watch it in order, or it's not going to make as much sense because it's just running together. The Office kind of does that, but I can just sit there sometimes at the end of the day and just put on any random episode of The Office. I don't care where it is in the plot line, and it's hilarious. It never fails it never disappoints.
TR, great stuff, buddy. Have yourself a long weekend, and we wish everybody there safe, and hopefully the fires get under control even more.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Edmonton. Talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, there you go. That's Terry Ryan joins us Thursdays. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Cattail Crossing. Glow up and golf under the stars. Night golf is on every second Friday and Saturday. Check it out where you can play when it's dark. It's fantastic and loads of fun. Cattailcrossing.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Big win for the Jays earlier today as they take the series over the Cubs, winning 2-1. Vlad Jr. 2-run shot to win it. Also, the Orioles knocking off the Mariners 5-3 later on. Phillies in Washington. Guardians host the Marlins. Braves taking on the Mets. Twins and Tigers, then Diamondbacks in Denver. Playoff action in the CEBL tonight. You got the Stingers in Calgary taking on the Surge. Tip-off 7:30 at 5 o'clock. Scarborough will host Montreal in Week 11 in the CFL. Kicks off with the Bombers hosting the Red Blacks at 6:30. BMW Championship right now. Robert McIntyre atop the leaderboard at 6 under par. Tommy Fleetwood and Scotty Scheffler sitting at 4 under par. As for the Canadians in the field, you got Taylor finishing even, Nick Taylor 2 over, as is Corey Connors, who is on hole 16. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Elks secondary coach Aaron Grimes. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
It's the Bricks Great Canadian Staycation Sale. Score hot summer savings like up to 20% off outdoor furniture. and free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $4.99 or more. Save 60% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Plus, save up to 20% off dining and bedroom furniture. Get up to $400 off big screen TVs and buy more, save more. Up to $1,000 off select major appliances. We got a lot of communities saving you. We're just, we roll
McDonald's
through.
summer drink days are here.
We're just
Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's summer drink days. Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide
Welcome
customers
back.
with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
It's happened again, and construction season is in full swing. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
What's better than a family reunion? Getting the family discount. At Nisku Ford, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. And we believe our family deserves the very best.
That's why our legendary employee pricing is back. This August, get the Ford you want at the price you deserve with exclusive deals reserved for our closest kin. It's our way of saying, welcome home.
The coffee's on. Drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth Double E football coverage on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, Cons, I thought you were going to play TR's song there. That was a pretty good choice. I like that tune. Good memory coming from Forrest Gump. Maybe I'll play that one coming out of the next break. I like it. If you asked everybody, like, what would be your song? Because you think about it. Your entrance music as a closer is like, it's such a good, if you make the right decision and then obviously you're a good closer, like that becomes literally like must watch TV. Fans at home, they want to hear it, they want to see it, the broadcaster's got to play it. It becomes like a whole production. I love it. There's really other sports can't really do it. Like you can't really have a touchdown song. I've talked about NHL teams and we're seeing more of them. I talked about this, Cons, for at least 5, 6, 7 years, and NHL teams are starting to do it. Of course, yours haven't done it yet, and probably would be the last team to do it. But the goal song, fans love it in other markets. Individual goal songs for players, I've talked about. It's such a small, little, easy thing to do that gets people in. But I'm telling you, you got your closer music. Like, obviously, it started from Major League and Wild Thing, right? That's really what started it, right? Charlie Sheen's Wild Thing coming out of the bullpen in Cleveland. They're going bananas. It was awesome. And now you see, obviously, Mariano Rivera, I think, was kind of the first guy to really take it to the next level of Major Leagues of Baseball. And now you see it, and it's epic. Like, if I don't even watch the Phillies game, but if I'm channel surfing and I know the Phillies are getting into a closer situation, I want to see that entrance now. It's unbelievable. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out, man. It is phenomenal. So I don't know, like the goal song you could do in hockey. I think there's ways. We still in North America, you go to Europe and you see the singing and the chanting and the dancing. It's like the sporting events are so much bigger. We've talked about it. Like, watch darts on TV, for Christ's sakes. It's darts. And they're going bananas over it. So I think at times we miss out on just having more fun at pro sports events in North America. Just make it fun and people want to go. So that's my thoughts. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It's time now for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Hey, speak of fun, you'll have fun if you work there, because it's not just a job, it's a great career opportunity. They love promoting from within. Many of their high-end roles have been people who start at the bottom, just year, and work their way up, and superintendents and more. So apply today, Indeed.com, and look up GS Construction as Mark Spector joins us. Spec, how you doing?
Doing great, man. It's Thursday afternoon. Weather's getting better. Blue Jays win. Cubs lost. Guess you can't win them all, hey?
Oh, well, that was a really good ball game today.
Yeah, I know. I didn't see much of it, I got to admit. So before we start talking about it, but you know what I love for the Blue Jays? I love the fact that Vladdy Guerrero is being the power guy. Like, he is delivering more nights than he's not these days. And in the end, you know, it's like a hockey team, man. There's a few guys you expect to score, and if they don't score, you don't win. And in baseball, if your big power guy doesn't deliver with the odd key home run and the odd key RBI like he's been doing, you're not going to win. And a big part of the reason they're winning, I think, is Vladdy's doing something every night to drive a run or two in.
Well, he's really gotten on fire. Like, they were winning beforehand, which was great, but since the All-Star break, what is he hitting, like 380?
Yeah.
His OPS and slugging percentage, like, he's crushing it lately, which is great to see. But that was like Max Scherzer, 41 years of age, was pitching a gem in that game. And then the relievers, they come in, you know, Little has a walk. So you got runners at second and third, none out. You're up 2-1. And then he strikes out 2. And then Rodriguez comes in and he strikes out another guy. Like, that's what you need from your bullpen. You need some huge Ks. Like, a sac fly would have tied the game at that point. So it was mad. Even an infield hit to the right side, left side of the diamond, right side of the diamond, probably would have scored a run. So, you know, that whole sequence, and Chicago's pitching was good. That was there's very few low scoring games that are overly riveting for me.
Yeah.
But that was one that was a good baseball game. Some good defense, not a ton of hits. But when you needed it, each team hit a home run, and it just happened that Vladdy hit a 2-run shot to their solo.
Yeah, it's okay. Like, most of that series was spent in a 2-1 game. If I'm not mistaken, the games broke open a little bit later. I think there was a 4-1, a 5-1, and a 2-1, but really tight ball between two good teams. Fun to watch. I always say this with hockey. I don't mind a 1-0 game. Just don't give me a team where I'm going to the rink expecting it.
Yes.
And today's baseball game is a great example. I'll watch that game. I'm not telling you I want to watch 2-1 ball every day, but when presented with one like today, it was very intriguing. I got to say, that Little, I was watching, I was in a shop today. I was getting my car worked on, doing a bunch of stuff. I was in front of the TV when Little struck those 2 Cubs out. And that curveball is nasty. That lefty curveball, like, what a hammer. The most dangerous thing is the catcher is like on high alert, because he's throwing a whole bunch of them about 57 feet, right? Like, they're not all getting there. The catcher Heineman was catching, I believe.
Yeah.
Absolutely kept that ball in front of him with a man on third about 5 times. But that left-handed curveball, like, holy man, if he can get control of that thing and throw it for strikes and not have it go to the backstop, that is an unbelievable pitch to try to hit.
Oh God. Like it's, the thing about it is sometimes you watch and you people, I can't believe he swung at that. I'm like, it's like any sport, but it looks so much easier. Like, wow, yeah, on TV. I'm like, go try to stand in a batter's box and hit one of those legit curveballs like that. It's virtually, I don't know, like, there's a reason why the best players in the world can't hit it. Never mind schmucks like me.
Yeah. A schmuck like you and me would be bailing out of the batter's box if you were a left-handed hitter, thinking that that pitch was going to hit you in the head. And then it would go across the plate. And while you were lying on your rear end, the umpire would be going strike one. And the whole dugout would be laughing at you. It's, that a curveball of that stature, a hammer that comes down that hard. Are you kidding me? You could stand in there for an hour and not make contact on that thing.
No, 100%. Like it's, unless you've played ball at even a minor league, like even a decent level, you'd virtually have no chance to hit it. Right? Like none.
Even if you have, right? Even if you have. I mean, that's why he's in the big leagues pitching an important game in the key innings, because not only is he a big league pitcher, Jason, he's a particularly good one at this stage. So, guys like me who played in the Sunburst League, I have no illusion I'm going to make contact, like a foul ball. I'd be writing a home about off of that guy.
I made contact. I touched it. I got a piece of it.
Ball. Oh my God. I tipped one off.
It's like the people that say, oh no, a hit's when you make contact. I'm like, no, that's not a hit.
No. Anyway, really good ball. The Jays have a bunch of moving parts that are all moving in the right direction. I love watching them play. The Cubs look like a really good team, and the Jays were just a touch better today. The ball's compelling, man. We got a really good fall ahead of us here.
The Elks tomorrow night at home against Toronto. It looks like weather might be a little rainy. We'll see, but hopefully it holds off during the game. They practiced out in the rain earlier this week, just in case, which to me is smart. And I look at the game for the Elks. That's the last two road games. I know they won their last game, but the last two road games, the run attack has been non-existent. At home, it was excellent against Hamilton. And to me, if you can get Rankin involved, I know he still caught passes and had 80 yards receiving, great. But when you can run the ball early in that game, you can get some confidence from your offensive line. To me, that's the difference, because then Cody Fajardo's not running for his life. He's not getting hit all the time. They really got to get their run game going tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, I always look at something like this, Jay, and think that if a casual observer like myself, if a media guy like you who's probably paying even closer attention, if you and me can see it, like, what is the coaches see it? The coaches know it. It's not like they're sitting there saying, 5 running attempts a night is enough. They're not saying that. So what I really want to know is why. Like, what are they seeing that causes them to not trust their running game? What is the coaching staff talking about behind closed doors? Because one of the guys is saying to the other guy back there, Jay, hey, let's run the ball. Like, the old line coach has got to be telling the OC, my guys want to run. Trust my guys. Let's run the ball. And they haven't been doing it. So don't ask me why, because I'm not down there talking to coaches. But everybody in the league can tell you can't play winning football with 5 or 6 running attempts a night. It's just it's a tenet of the sport that you got to get down if you're ever going to be a football team.
Yeah, no, the main reason they're having to run the ball is they don't get success early in the game, and then they're trailing, and now you play catch up, and you got a better chance of catching up by throwing the ball, right? So it is a vicious cycle, no question, and it's one that they'll have to try to sort out here and just get some consistency in running the ball. And if you do that, they'll have a chance.
Well, but it's more like again, we've watched the opposing pass rush just pin their ears back here, so you got to keep them honest. It's not a cliche. It's not a dumb narrative in football. It's true. When you run the ball, the pass rushers have to take note, right? They can't just rush like crazy, like they're like it's a pass every single down. So, screen pass works for that too, right? A draw play works for that. So listen, those guys forgot more about football than I'm ever going to know, but I am here to tell you, if they don't figure out some sort of running game, they're going to be a flawed football team. You got to run the ball, and that's just how it is.
Yeah. We had Chris Morris on for an hour in studio.
Yeah, how was he?
Oh, he was fantastic. And
really
we had lots of response from the audience about it. And he was very forthcoming in a few of the things he said. And number one, he talked about how they don't want to run through people here. They want to try to get players, obviously, that can play, to want to commit to Edmonton on the field, but in the community, and get back to where you have lots of guys. He said you probably need 20 guys on your team that, many of them are living there year round. They're focal points and standards for your team. Now, they're not going to play there all because that's not even half your roster, right? That's some special teamers and some offensive guys and some defensive guys, and you build that. And he even said for the coaching staff, because your coaching staff, if they're going to take chances, they have to know that, okay, if I take a chance, it doesn't work, we lose the game. That doesn't mean I'm going to get fired. And he talked about how if you're always changing, then no one's ever confident to try to take a chance, and they just coach almost, scared and very passive. And so with that in mind, I'm very curious to kind of see as we get more experience, and Aaron Grimes is coming up after you again today to talk about how you kind of build that in to be like, okay, let's get a little bit more aggressive here and not be worried that if we get beat every now and then.
Well, sure. I mean, you can't coach off the edge of a cliff, right? You can't be looking over your shoulder. None of us in our jobs. You got to be able to read and react. And, if you're on the radio, you're paid to have an opinion. I'm paid to have one in the internet. I'm not always right, and you're not always right either. But if I think that the first time I'm wrong, I'm going to get fired, guess what? My column gets real boring real fast. And it's no different than anyone at any job. And certainly coaching staffs and players stuff, it's read and react, man. Sometimes you see a time to gamble and you got to do it. Sometimes, it's time for a trick play, or it's time for, whatever it might be time for in your mind. They're paying you because you have a good football mind if you're a coach. They've chosen you over a field of candidates because you were the best one when the interviews came. Get out of my way and let me coach. And when the season ends, if or whatever it is, you want to talk about how I coach, we can have that conversation on a Wednesday. But don't send me out on Friday night scared to make a decision because I might not have a job on Saturday morning. You cannot win that way.
No, you can't. And Morris made it pretty clear that that's their vision. And they also unveiled something, starting this Labor Day. Every Saturday, it's kind of going to be almost like a mini little Spirit of Edmonton on the Saturday of the Labor Day. They're going to have a brunch at the Expo Center. You have the tables they sell, and you come down there and you have a lot of fun. And then they have entertainment. You've been to Spirit of Edmonton room. It's one of the best party events of the year. And so that's going to be a new tradition. This one's going to have some fundraising aspects to it. Each year they're going to pick a group that needs their help. And this year there was a youth girls football team that had saved up lots of money to travel to this big national tournament. They actually ended up going and winning, but only because Football Alberta kind of had to help subsidize in advance because they had somebody in their organization who stole all the money and took off. Which is brutal.
Yes, I heard about that.
And so they helped.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's unreal. But it's great that that people stepped up and helped them. And I just like the fact that they're trying to make it more than just on the field. And I think that's what you have to do as an organization in 2025 and beyond, is to make it more of an event, and people have a yearly thing like, hey, you know what? I'm going to this because I know, like our mid-year Labor Day matchup, everybody likes it. And that's going to be our go-to night. Maybe that's your one game you go to. It's an all-day party event and should be a lot of fun.
Okay, so clear me up on this, and listener who might have missed the Chris Morris interview. So is this going to be on the morning of the game for the back half of the season?
Yes, every because the Labor Day is Monday, Saturday, and the Saturday games in Edmonton. It's always at 5:00 now on Saturday. So the brunch, this party starts at 11, and it's like a tailgating all day long. They even have rides from the Expo Center to get you there to the stadium, and away you go. So yeah, it starts at 11. It's a brunch with entertainment and food and lots of other things, and then the game's at 5. So it's kind of like NFL. If you ever go to an NFL game, people will start when you have a 1:00 local start, people are there at 8 a.m, right? It's an all-day event, and so that's what they're going to do.
Listen, and that means that there will be some sluice juice kicking around there, I'm sure. At some point. You know what? I think I love the fact, I was big when they hired Chris Morris, because he's been a local guy. He knew what being an Eskimo meant. He knew what this team used to mean in this city. He was here when it was successful and when it was a big deal. Ed Hervey, much the same, right? Yep. You can't live in 1980, okay? I'm here to tell you, I'm an old guy, and all my memories I sat in the seats. I watched all those games. It was great. It's gone now, folks. It's over. You can't be the Tom Wilkinson, Warren Moon Eskimos anymore. But what you can be is an Elks team that doesn't live in the past, but learns from the past, right? A team that maybe creates a little bit of what used to be. And let's bring Edmonton. Edmonton's a hell of a football town. It's a good football town. And yeah, you got to win on the field. But you know what? If they start winning off the field at the same time, I love this thing on the day of the game. I love the fact you put some people together. Spirit of Edmonton, everyone in town has some connection to Spirit of Edmonton. We've all been in the Spirit of Edmonton room, and nobody left without a smile on their face. So good for Chris, good for Ed, good for those guys. I'd love to go to one of them, and I hope they do great.
Spec, have yourself a great evening. We will chat with you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good, Jake.
All right, it's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. When we come back, Aaron Grimes, longtime member of the Elks, Grey Cup winner, now in his first year as a secondary coach, reaching the midway point of the season. We'll talk a lot about the learning curve. As a rookie coach, it's got to be almost no different than a rookie player. What are they learning? What do you think you're getting better at? What do you want to improve? We'll find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy for comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The 8th annual Oilers Nation Open tees off Friday, August 29th at 9 a.m. A Texas scramble with fellow golfers, sports fans, and maybe even a few local personalities. Great shots, cold drinks, and a great cause. Gregor's Grads. Sign up at nationgear.ca.
It's happened again, and construction season is in full swing. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
I'm here with Mike, a Ford employee, to hook me up with a deal on a new F-150.
Oh, with Ford employee pricing on now, you don't really need me. You pay what we pay.
So I just get your price?
Yep. Tell them Mike sent you. Or Maria, or Namig.
Ford employee pricing is here, where you pay what Mike pays.
Or Genevieve, or Elise, or Kevy.
Right now, get up to $12,975 in total price adjustments on eligible 2025 F-150 models. For details, visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with the Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizzas for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Turn me up. Welcome back. Thursday afternoon, The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game, Use the promo code Gregor50 and you get a free $50 play when you sign up, playalberta.ca, or you can get a new one every month. And remember, tomorrow, 70 million. Lotto Max with 10 max millions. Good luck at playalberta.ca. Time now to get to the Elks Report, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. Stop in right now. You get the brand new, check it out, the 2026 XC90 is in, and ooh, baby, it looks good. Test drive one today or this weekend at Volvo Cars Edmonton. You can look at all the rides, volvocarsedmonton.com. We are joined now by a Grey Cup champion in his first year as the secondary coach for the Edmonton Elks. Aaron Grimes joins us. Mr. Grimes, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Gregor. Thanks for having me. And just trying to figure out if I got a chance at winning that 70 million.
Well, hey, you better get your tickets, buddy. Why not? Why not? You could have a little bit of fun with that. Taking the boys on a you definitely could have a celebration if you win that one. No, or probably multiple ones, I would think. So that would be good.
No doubt.
What type of celebration happens in the secondary group when a guy gets a pick six?
Oh, well, we had a nice little interception pot going, so that was the first thing that came to mind. Was I couldn't wait to get that out of my pocket. I've been holding on to that for far too long. Let's just say that. And then it just felt good. It just felt good to get that monkey off the back. And they always say turnovers come in bunches, so hopefully that's a sign of things to come.
Aaron, first year for you as a coach at the CFL level, and I'm sure we harken back to when Aaron Grimes came in as a rookie player, and you're watching all the things. You're like, oh my God, the game's a lot different. Then you get a few years in, and you're like, okay, the game's pretty calm. Is there a similarity at all to being a rookie head coach? And as much as you're prepared, once the games get on, there's still lots that maybe you're not used to.
No doubt. It's just a whole different perspective on game day, being on the sideline, having a headset on. And trying to put people in the right position to make plays versus just making sure you were in the right spot to make your play. And so I would even say, from week one to right now, I feel like I'm already a better coach, and I still got so far to go, but it's all trending in the right direction, and it's the next best thing for sure.
Where do you feel you've improved as a coach through the first 9 weeks?
I think being able to communicate to the players effectively, being able to earn their trust, and see things how they see the game versus how I see the game, because I'm not the one on the field playing it, right? So how do they see it, and how can I help them out? And then also being able to give some feedback to JC, just in terms of, okay, this is where I think they're trying to hit us. Here's what I think would be good for us. Here's how we can defend it. Just being able to give feedback like that and make myself useful on the sideline have been things I've been learning every week.
It's interesting how you say make yourself useful, because you played the position, you understand it, but I'm sure as a coach you realize even what I see on the sidelines is still going to look different from what the halfback or the safety or the corner sees from a different angle on the field.
Absolutely. And I always tell the guys, it's easy for me to say when I'm watching it on the iPad or I'm watching it on film, but at the end of the day, you two are playing together. What is your communication? How do you guys see it? Because if I can understand that, now you guys can understand where I would like you to be to make the play, and I can help get you there because I see how you see it as well. So it's definitely interesting, but I love it. It's a challenge. It's a challenge that is very accepted, though.
You look at your group of players, and every secondary guy is different. You can look at the guys you played with, and, somebody was like you who's a great cover guy. And then there's other guys who are very physical, and everybody has a different strength. And when you played, you respected it all, but you're like, I just got to focus on what I do. When you have guys who play the game different and it's both successful, what's the hardest thing to learn in how you communicate with maybe a more physical DB to more of just like a pure cover DB?
I think that's an art and something that I'm learning and trying to learn. But I remember when I went to Philadelphia, my coach, Corey Unlin, just something as simple as teaching different corners how to press, because Eric Rowe was much taller than me. So he had him start in a different stance.
Okay.
And then my legs were shorter. So he had me start a little bit different stance with this foot back instead of this foot forward. and just being able to teach everybody to their strengths. And so I bring that full circle to say, like you're saying, you know, a DB who is more physical, you know, versus a DB who likes to play the finesse game, and just being able to understand, okay, this is what I'm going to get out of this player. So how can I use that to his advantage, which is our advantage, you know, and earning their trust to get them to be like, okay, maybe you are more of a finesse player and you want to go find the football, but on this play, the team needs you to go sacrifice your body and put your pads on somebody. And then you'll get to the finesse play where you get to make the play you want to make, but it all works together, you know?
Okay. Aaron Grimes joins us, DB coach for the Edmonton Elks. And Aaron, you know, we had Chris Morrison, who obviously understands the game. We were talking lots of football and you know, as the president, understanding lots of things. And he talked about how, like, as the defense works together, right? The defensive line, they've all said it, they got to get more pressure for sure. Secondary early on was maybe playing a little bit off the ball more so. It's a young group. The last few weeks, the defense has definitely improved. You know, the points against are down, the yards against are down. They seem to be becoming a little bit more aggressive. How much of that is natural in the players? You played the game. Like sometimes you just, you know, you don't be as aggressive because you don't want to get beat, right? And it's more so just because maybe you don't have experience. Are you guys are you trying to get them to be more aggressive? Or are they just naturally being more aggressive as there being a switch there in philosophy in the secondary?
I think there's a little bit of both. You know, I think that, like you said, as a player, you know, when you first go out there, new staff, a lot of new players on the roster, even some who came back first time playing together, you know, people just don't want to mess up. And that goes for players and coaches, you know. And then now the more, you know, you play with somebody next to you, the more you understand, okay, I'm a little bit more aggressive than him, so I'm always going to pull my trigger and let him play off me, you know, or vice versa. And then from a coach's standpoint, understanding, okay, this is the vision, but you know, our strengths as a team are this. Maybe it is playing more man, maybe it's playing more zone, maybe it's sending pressure on this situation. And then just collectively understanding, like, okay, this is what the coaches are trying to get done in this situation, and then communicating them to that, right? I think JC does a good job of that. Here's what I'm thinking in this situation, and this is why I'm calling it. So now the players can say, okay, cool. If that's what he's trying to get done, now I understand why it's being called. So let's go give it everything we got. If it doesn't work, then we get back to the drawing board and we try to figure it out. But it's just, I think to me, it's been an understanding of just being together. You know, the more reps we get together, the better we get together. And I do think it's starting to show, and I hope that it continues to go that way.
From a coaching perspective, in-game adjustments, right? Like it's a little bit of a chess match at times. You want to see, okay, what are they calling? You know, there's a little bit of anticipation. We think they're going to call this here, or no, we're going to try with this. How much of that has been a learning curve for both you and JC? Kind of, I know you guys are really good friends and stuff, but he's the DC. You obviously must communicate. And how do you feel you've improved as a staff on that in-game adjustment, really almost from series to series at times?
I think we've improved a lot, and JC obviously brings more experience to that than I did before this year. You know, because even when I came back last year and was just helping out as an assistant, I didn't have as much in-game input, right? And so he's pulled me aside sometimes, and I'll ask him. Like, I'm a huge question asker because I want to know why, because I want us to be successful very, very badly. And so I'll ask him, like, when you first started, you know, what were ways that you helped out on the sideline? And I'll ask other coaches from other teams that have been here before. I've got no problem asking questions to try to find the answer. And so he'll tell me, like, okay, when I was watching the iPad, I would look at, okay, here's the formations we knew they were going to do. And then here's some that they've hit us with. Okay, they've gone to the boundary a lot of times. Okay, so he's like, AG, if you can recognize that, like, make the corrections with your players, but then also watch the iPad in terms of what is the offense trying to do to us? Is it what we expected them to do? Or are they hitting us with some wrinkles? Because every offense is going to do that. And so just being able to learn that and try to pick up on that and then get on the headset and feel comfortable enough to talk to him about it has been a huge difference.
Interesting. So you'll get on, because he's obviously calling it from upstairs. You're on the sidelines, right? And obviously you see different things. And part of that communication, Aaron, is being willing to voice your opinion at the right time. Is that fair?
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it better. Like, just feeling comfortable and confident to say, hey, this is what I see. This is what I think will work. And at the end of the day, sometimes, you know, he's the defensive coordinator. He can veto it as well. And And that's just part of it, right? It's part of the understanding, but just, giving him that feedback and him trusting me more as well. Like you said, we played together for a long time, but we never worked together before, like this. So not only am I trying to earn the players' trust, but I got to earn one of my best friends' trust, but as a boss, right? And so it's been a learning curve, man, but it's been awesome for sure.
What about with Demetrius Maxey, the D-line coach? How does the D-line and the secondary coach communication happen during a game?
We don't communicate too much in game. A lot of us are communicating directly with JC or over the headsets.
Okay.
But certainly throughout the week, the communication of, and I thought this as a player all the time, like going back to, Odell Willis and Mondo and those guys. Like my biggest thing to them was always, hey, help me help you. I'm gonna cover my butt off and try to get him off his first read, and you try to get there as quickly as you can, because the faster you get there, the less I got to cover, and the faster you get there, the more opportunity I get for a bad ball being thrown my way. So it certainly goes hand in hand.
Aaron Grimes joins us. Aaron, let's look ahead. What's your expectation from Toronto's offense? Nick Arbuckle at quarterback. Everybody has tendencies. Are there certain areas on the field and certain plays that you're like, okay, we're pretty? They like to go, to the strong side of the field more often in this formation, and here they'll go. Like, does they get that in depth? And are you? Because I know the offense sometimes like to script plays. Does the defense script kind of what you think they're going to script for the first 10 plays? Do you ever do that?
Absolutely. I wouldn't say for the first 10 plays, or not that I've seen from there, but certainly like, okay, here's what they like to do, coming out, or here's what they like to do on first down in a certain field zone, right? Some coordinators will change up their first down play calls based on what field zone they're in terms of coming out, right, back by their own end zone or midfield or in the red zone. They'll call the game differently. So just going in with the understanding, like, okay, here's what we expect in this part of the field. And then, like you said, once the third or second and third quarter roll around, it's like, okay, have they stayed true to it or have they switched it up? Now it's time for those in-game adjustments.
What about you learning like deception and disguising what you want to run? How much of that is coaching, and then how much of that is the veterans having or even not veterans, just the players knowing how to disguise a certain, okay, they think we're going to be in zone, but now we're going to switch to man, or vice versa? How much of that goes on in the game, and how much of that is from you, the play, in the secondary, or how much is that from JC, or is it from the players themselves on the field?
JC tries to make sure, he does a really good job of giving tasks to other people, so he's not doing too much. So he's kind of put that on myself and Coach Nesbitt.
Okay.
And it starts with coaching. It starts with, okay, we want to show this, but end up here when the ball is snapped, whether it's man to zone or zone to man, or middle of the field closed to middle of the field open, or showing the blitz, but then backing out. And then as these guys, I'm noticing it while I'm watching film of our team, they're getting to a point now where you don't even have to signal in or call in the disguise. They just get it now. They understand. Okay. And that's part of the veteranship. And even a guy like Royce Metier, whose disguise coverages forever, since he's been in Calgary, then to Toronto, it's now learning how we want to disguise things in Edmonton, right? And then now him taking ownership of, hey, okay, guys, let's show this on this one. And that's kind of where you want to get as a coach. So now you can focus on the scheme and the calls and what the offense is trying to do, and you let the guys take care of the disguise. That's what's cool about veteran players.
Yeah, well, yeah, the more they know, and you're getting Mechie back. Like, how much, we always hear the middle linebacker is a huge part of your defense. How much is your safety part of your defense, and what you can call at certain times in the game?
It's unreal. I mean, the safety makes the strength call before the ball is, as soon as the ball is put down. He's responsible for a lot of the coverage checks based on formation. And he, there's 6 DBs on the field minimum, at any given time. So his ability to communicate to the strong side and the weak side, and it's huge. I call him the quarterback of our secondary.
Aaron, always great stuff, man. I love talking to you. I always learn a lot. Continued success, and best of luck tomorrow night.
I appreciate that. Let's do it again.
You betcha, man. That is Aaron Grimes, secondary coach for the Green and Gold. I love talking football with Aaron. And Aaron is one of the most, I know we got a lot of texts, people, hey, man, I'm here, man, I'm there. He's one of the most genuine, like, polite guys you'll ever meet. He's a really good dude. 546. Now, do you want to take your family? We got a 4-pack courtesy of Elks Nation. You can go watch the game tomorrow night. If you want to go, text us, 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. 4-pack of seats to go see the you know what, yeah, we'll give those away right now. 833-401-1440. Just text in Elks and your name.
Trust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 air conditioning install company for slushy lovers. Because while a slushy keeps you cool as an 80s song for a moment, AC from Legacy keeps you cold as ice all season long. A permanent full-body slushy sensation keeping you cold as ice with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Keeping you cool without the brain freeze. That's how you build a legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Edmonton Elks Country Night is back Friday, August 15th against Toronto. Presented by Coconut Cowboy Rub, featuring the EE Bull Riding Competition, country music all night long, plus a petting zoo and pony rides for the kids. Tickets start at just $20 at GoElks.com.
It's the Bricks Great Canadian Staycation Sale. Score hot summer savings like up to 20% off outdoor furniture and free local delivery on outdoor furniture purchases of $4.99 or more. Save 60% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching love seat or chair. Plus, save up to 20% off dining and bedroom furniture. Get up to $400 off big screen TVs and buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off select major appliances. The Brick, saving you more.
McDonald's summer drink days are here. Get a $2 small fruit splash beverage or a small frappe or smoothie for just $3 each. Summer's booming with McDonald's summer drink days. Excludes additional flavor shots and toppings at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Are you relying on credit cards to make ends meet? Are you making just the minimum payment and carrying a balance month after month? It's time to break free from the debt spiral and take control of your finances. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. During a free consultation, I can explain all your debt relief options and stop your credit card bills from piling up. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
If you're thinking of switching to Co-op Propane, there's no better time than now. Eligible customers who switch to Co-op Propane will receive up to 750 liters of free propane. New customers will get a free tank rental for 1 year. For home, farm, cottage, agricultural, or commercial endeavors, Co-op is ready to look after all your propane needs. Speak to a Co-op Fuel Team member about the benefits of switching to Co-op Propane today.
What's better than a family reunion? Getting the family discount. At Nisku Ford, you're not just a customer, you're part of the family. And we believe our family deserves the very best.
That's why our legendary employee pricing is back. This August, get the Ford you want at the price you deserve with exclusive deals reserved for our closest kin. It's our way of saying, welcome home.
The coffee's on. Drive into Nisku Ford or visit niskuford.ca today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:50 as we wrap up. Man, that was a fast Thursday. I can't believe it just flew by. By the way, if you missed the Thursday, check it out online later on. Great segment on some new non-alcohol beverages that they have at Sherbrooke Liquor. The Hi-Yo, exactly what it is. Hi-Yo, it's very good, very tasty. Also, if you were interested in the MLB, we had Steve Gardner talking racing. We had Travis Yost. Really good breakdown on the tiers. Travis Yost wrote down, he listed from TSN, 5 tiers for defense scores. He had the Oilers in the number 1 tier alongside Dallas, as well as Colorado, Carolina, and the Ottawa Senators. And then he breaks down his reasons to why it is. He's kind of coming up with the wingers because, some Florida Panther fans, how's our defense on in tier 1? He says, well, because you probably have the best group of defensive forwards, which allows your job to be a little bit easier. And so he broke it down, which, that's fair. So Oilers defense score is pretty good. They move the puck incredibly well. They make some mistakes, but I think sometimes you think your guys are the only ones making mistakes. There's lots of other mistakes that are made, especially for the guys who play the most minutes. It's part of how it's going to be, man. You make mistakes when you play that many minutes. It just happens. There's a few turnovers. Away you go. Hey, Greg, so I have to say, man, not a huge Elks fan, but I really enjoyed that interview with Aaron Grimes. Felt like I learned more about the game, and now I'm going to have to go. Well, awesome. Well, that's the whole point. To me, when we can get a coach on, I want to try to talk to a level where fans feel like you're getting a little bit of an insight into what's going on in the game, and especially in football, because, there's play calls before every play. That doesn't happen in hockey. Every sport's different, right? But in hockey, you know what? Okay, there's line changes, but the coach isn't like, okay, set play coming out of here. No, there's at a face-off, certain times you have a set draw. If you win it, we want to do this. If you lose it, we're going to do this. Fine. In football, virtually on every play, man. And that's what makes it great. So I love it. Cons, I think, picked a winner to go to the Elks game. Cons, who do you got?
Winner today is going to be Trevor.
Congratulations, Big T. You are going to the game tomorrow night. We'll have some tickets to give away, I think, in the first hour of the show tomorrow. For some of our young adults looking to have a little bit of fun. I'll send you those tickets tomorrow. So have yourselves a great Thursday. Good luck to the Edmonton Stingers tonight. They've taken on the Calgary Surge. It's a win and move on, lose and go home type of game. So it's the best, like a Game 7. So check that one out, and then we'll preview lots on the Elks tomorrow. On behalf of Declan Kruger, Jason Gregor, I am Connor Halley. I am Connor Halley. I'm Jason Gregor. He's Connor Halley. Ooh, that was a classic faux pas. Some days I want to be Connor, just not today. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Red Deer Resort and Casino, where stay and play, man. At kids, you got great opportunities for your kids to stay there at Red Deer Resort and Casino, and try even hospitality suites if you're looking for a little party, more than just a small group. Get that as well. Red Deer Resort and Casino.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays earlier today victorious over the Cubs, winning 2-1. Vlad Guerrero Jr. with a 2-run shot to win it. Jays now back in action tomorrow, 5 o'clock, kicking off a series with the Rangers out in Toronto. Elsewhere, you had the Orioles over the Mariners 5-3. Later on tonight, Rockies will host the Diamondbacks. Underway right now. Marlins lead the Guardians 4-3, and the Phillies up on the Nationals 2-1. Mets lead the Braves 1-0, and Tigers Twins currently scoreless in the top of the second. We got playoff action tonight in the CEBL. Stingers down in Calgary taking on the Surge. That one gets going at 7:30. Week 11 in the CFL kicks off with the Bombers taking on the Red Blacks. Kickoff at 6:30. And tomorrow, Palinka Gretzky Cup semifinal action. Canada taking on the United States at 11 o'clock a.m. You also have the Finns taking on Sweden in the other semifinal. And round one action at the BMW Championship right now. Robert McIntyre -8. Closest Tommy Fleetwood 5 under par. Canadians have Corey Connors and Taylor Pencheth both even, while Nick Taylor is 2 over par. That'll do it for us here on The Gregor Show. Up next is Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on The Kevin Karius Show. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station, broadcasting on Treaty 6.